Everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna play some more Fear Me, the Jeff the Killer dating sim. Let's begin. Oh, his eyes move. That's awesome. I love it. Easy mode. And I'll keep going. This room was silent, illuminated by the warm midday light filtered through the windows. You looked anywhere but your therapist, you didn't yet feel comfortable enough to speak freely. Attending those sessions felt like a chore, more than for your own good. It seemed like a way to keep an eye on you. You know you have no obligation to talk about him, Jeff. The therapist watched you patiently, leaning calmly against the back of his armchair. You could talk about whatever you want. He scoffed ironically, offering no reply. It had been 7 days, enough time for someone to change, don't you think? Instinctively, you raised your hand to the left side of your face, where a patch covered your left eye. He hurt you. There's no doubt about it. The police, the hospital. Everyone has their version, but I want yours. You shrugged. That's fine. Silence is the answer. You looked towards the window. Your reflection silhouette was visible in the glass. Even though you couldn't see yourself clearly, your posture and expression were noticeably different from a week ago. Day 1. Oh, okay, so it's not like... surprise, you're like chapter 3. The start of your shift is like your life start button. You have a clear routine: wake up, work, and sleep. You have no legacy, no ambitions, no pending matters. You fulfill your duties as a student and finish school. But you lack the motivation to pursue a dream or a goal beyond what you are now. You feel as if you don't have a starting role in the world because nothing special has happened to you yet. In fact, one could say you let empathy guide you. An empathy that numbs your strong emotions. A roller coaster ride? Pleasant. You trip and fall face first into public? Not the end of the world. Positive or negative, your emotions range are very low. Like a perfect blank canvas. Anyway, you start to make your life as comfortable as possible. As strange as it sounds, you work at a video store that only attracts nostalgics and cinephiles. You love movies. The 2 main reasons you took the job is because you like it. You could spend hours watching movies and never get bored. The place is colorful enough not to depress you just by being there, and if you're lucky, you might run into an interesting character or 2. Of course, besides the characters that already exist. In the movies, of course. Catching up on lost time? For a moment, I thought you wouldn't come. Cindy, your coworker. She's not very good at her job, which is saying a lot, since being her tenant to a time-lost store doesn't require much effort. But she's the owner's daughter. You're the other full-time employee, and you do well. You 2 don't get along great. Not terribly. You tolerate each other. Where's your badge? Instinctively, you reach for your neck, and indeed your employee badge wasn't there. It's strange, but I feel like I can't say your name without your badge. Cindy shrugs and retracted the back room with a box full of movies. Somehow, what she said made sense. It was as if you couldn't remember your own name unless it was written right in front of you. as if names only existed if someone else spoke them out loud. Well, you remember taking it out of your things when you arrived, so it's not likely it's still in the store. Aisle 2. He leaned down and tried to get a better look at the floor, hoping your badge was around somewhere. He moved down the small aisle, determined, past shelves packed with horror and thriller movies, until he spotted an unmistakable piece of plastic almost at the end of the aisle. You were reaching for your badge when a white hand got there first, slowly picking up the plastic piece. You looked up and found yourself facing a tall, hooded man with his face covered. Jeff. He looked like a potential criminal or someone with a bad cold. The criminal sounds more inclined, but he didn't have the energy to worry. He straightened up, standing face to face. The man seemed to ignore you, more interested in your badge in his hand. Is this yours? His voice, muffled by the fabric, was deep and slightly raspy. He nodded silently, looking at the man suspiciously. By the way he cocked his head. Prove it. Now you could finally visualize your name. Your name is YN, of course, because I'm being lazy. ... The man looked at the badge in silence, and for a moment truly thought you might have been in the wrong place after all. But then he offered you the piece of plastic. All right, YN. You look at the badge in your hands, giving the guy a look. Mock him. I'm sorry, Jeff. I don't like to mock ya. But who are you? The badge security? The man shrugged, unconcerned. I just wanted to make sure I gave it to the right person. I currently work here. He chuckled. Yeah, but it could have belonged to someone else. It's literally has my photo print on it. The man waved it off dismissively. Would you have preferred I gave your badge to just to an uninformed person who claimed it was theirs? It has my photo on it. I don't think so. His logic was strangely convincing. I guess not. The man cocked his head with a smirk. You couldn't see it though for the bandana, but you knew he was smiling. See, I'm not so bad. The fact that he said that made you think the opposite. He suddenly put the badge around your neck while he remained motionless in his spot. He slowly moved towards the counter. The guy stared at you as you moved, which only made your discomfort worse. You decided to ignore him, shifting your attention to one of the monitors next to you. You could if the hood guy from before would stop wandering around the store suspiciously. You tried your best to ignore him, but it was impossible not to notice him. Maybe he was doing it on purpose. Hey, YN. At the sound of your name, you looked up at Cindy, who had come around the counter to stand next to you. Did you see that guy? He's been here for a long time. Oh, Jeff, don't worry about him. You look where she was subtly pointing, and of course she was talking about the same guy. Yeah, I saw him. He shrugged. A very logical reaction, right? Maybe he's deciding what to buy. He was probably just a weirdo who you see once. No big deal. Anyway, Cindy, as annoying as she wasn't easily flustered. He's just a weirdo. We see those all every day. But this one feels different. You were starting to believe Cindy had watched many movies, but didn't remember she didn't like cinema, only worked in her dad's store. Come on, you have to have one movie you like. When I talked to him, he didn't seem dangerous. Cindy turned to you, surprised. You talked to him? Did he say anything strange? No. Yes. Okay, yes. Yes. He asked me for my name. Huh? Why? He picked up my badge, I guess, to verify it was mine. Sydney held her chin thoughtfully. It was a little weird, I guess. Sydney looked at you in silence for a few seconds and sighed. If he makes you uncomfortable, I can ask him to leave. Sydney shook her head and glanced at the guy. You're probably right. Okay, I'll leave it to you to it. I'll go check the inventory. Sure. You settled into your designated chair, and before you could pretend to look at receipts, Sydney spoke again. But if he does anything suspicious, let me know, okay? Okay. Just not tell her. He'll go stabby on the run. He nodded silently. Sydney didn't wait for a verbal response. She just went back to her task. You kept your eyes fixed on the monitor screen for a moment. Out of the corner of your eye, you glanced at the aisles. The guy was still there, just standing. He was looking at a shelf that held nothing particularly interesting. And then he looked at you. It was a quick or distracted glance. It was direct. Mia's gaze. He returned his gaze with the same intensity. He didn't know if you were doing it out of bravery or stubbornness or simply curiosity. But he didn't blink. And then he made a slight gesture. An almost nod of the head. And as if he was greeting you. You decided to ignore him, turning your attention back to the monitor to remove the CD from the player. As you put the CD back on the case, you look at your options. Horror. You glanced at the scares and atmosphere that horror movies create. You were about to pick a movie until the sudden sound of someone laying on the counter in front of you distracted you. Again, the stranger was there, this time in front of you, looking intensely at the CD in your hands. What movie are you going to put on? Excuse me? I want to know what movie you're going to put on. Is that a crime? No, of course not, but it'll be Scream. I want to Scream. Only horror movie I've watched. Oh, come on. I'm undecided. Maybe you can inspire me. You look at him in silence for a moment, then sighed with wariness. Scream. Oh, you like that? You like Scream too. It's all horror. Oh, a classic slasher. Interesting. Well, did that help you decide? The guy cocked his head. Now you knew for sure that this was his way of showing mockery. A little. Though what caught my attention was what genre he chose. He raised an eyebrow. Oh yeah? And what about it? Horror. His tone dropped. Interesting choice. It always says something about a person who prefers it. I don't prefer it. Scream is the only horrors I will say I prefer. Like what? That you're looking for feel something real. Or you want fear to have the face. Or I just like it how Shaggy hands up. Because he was Shaggy from the Scooby-Doo movies. And the voice of Shaggy currently, I believe. Something you can understand, even if it means danger. His voice were soft, but they were prickled by needles under your skin. Or maybe I like strong emotions without putting myself at risk like everyone else. But you're not like everyone else. Well, that phrase needs to be removed from the visual novel bingo card. Fourth wall break. He moved a little closer to the counter. He didn't invade your space, but it was as if he caressed it. You don't want to be afraid. Should I be? You don't seem to be afraid. Should I be? Depends. Do you prefer to see horror from the outside or have it stare back at you? Go with it. I guess it depends on the pretty face of the horror. The face of horror is. If it's handsome, I'm going for it. He tilted his head slightly, as if he had said something he didn't quite expect, but he didn't seem surprised either. Wow. Keep in mind that some pretty things bite too. Oh, I know. He glanced at the shelves for a second, as if looking for something that was obviously he wasn't. But it was obvious he wasn't. Or maybe you like being bitten, who knows? Well, we have to test that. You want to test that, Jeff? He shrugged, as if downplaying his own words. He extended a finger and drew circles on the counter surface. He was pretending to think, ignoring you, but aware of your presence. For your mental sanity's sake, you needed to hurry him up. Be subtle. Be direct. Hey, buddy, could you hurry up? What's a rush? There aren't many other customers besides me. Do you even want to buy anything? The guy chuckled. I'm just indecisive. I'm not bartering anyone. Oh, you're definitely just planning on trying to get stabby us. You glanced back, searching for Cindy, just to feel some security that you weren't on your own. But unfortunately, you didn't see her anywhere. Then, without you asking, he reached a hand over the counter. I'm Jeff, and I think it's time we formally introduce ourselves, don't you, Ryan? His gaze dropped to his hand. I'm gonna take his hand. Wait, high five. Haha. Jeff laughs loudly, drawing the attention of the few remaining customers in the store. You couldn't help it, but you also laughed at your reaction. Hey, don't exaggerate. They're watching us. Why, are you embarrassed for them to see you? It's not that. You're bothering the customers. Right. I didn't take you for someone who easily get embarrassed. As someone who works in a store, you should have convinced the customer to buy as much as possible. But something told you Jeff would take his sweet time. You watch him in silence for a few seconds, observing his thoughtful posture. If he was insistent on prolonging the interaction, you were allowed to make him uncomfortable too, right? Are you single? Okay, it doesn't matter. Are you single? Jeff stumbled in place, turning his gaze to you. He remained silent for a few seconds, covering from the potential surprise, then tilted his head with a teasing touch. What if I'm not? Then for anyway. I wouldn't mind sharing. You rested your chin on your hand, raising your eyebrows playfully. Jeff cleared his throat against his bandana, hiding what you expect was a chuckle. At least you made him laugh. Well, did you decide what to get? Jeff refocused his attention on you. Well, it seems like you really want to get rid of me. Answer sarcastically. No, I love wasting time with weirdos who walk in circles as if they are lost in a supermarket. Jeff's eyes widened, fraying offense. Hey, that was mean. You're going to make me cry. He clenched his chest dramatically, then chuckled again. This time his laugh was a softer, more genuine. I don't know if this was funny because I talked to you, or because I ruined your day. The statement came out with unsettling frankness. You didn't know how to react, but you knew in the end Jeff would have done things on purpose. Well, at least you admit you weren't exactly on a delight. Sure, I'm not an idiot. I know what kind of reaction I get from people. Jeff shrugged, then tilted his head, questioning and mocking. Do you treat all customers like this, or am I special? You're just special. He couldn't help but laugh, small laugh in his words. You know what? I don't usually spend as much energy on strangers, but you earned it. Jeff straightened up suddenly, pleased as if he'd been told he achieved a great feat. I'll take it. For a moment you thought Jeff meant he appreciated your words until you noticed his eyes were fixed on the movie that you'd chosen to put on the player. Oh, great. Watch it with me, he said with relief. Finally, Jeff would take something. and it was something you knew he liked. You felt good about doing your job well, after all. Thank you for shopping with us. Jeff nodded and taking the movie in his bag and headed for this exit. It was a pleasure, Wyan. He waved goodbye and you replicate with your own hand. Though not as physically as his. Well, you managed to sell something to the weirdo of the day. It was an accomplishment after all. Your work day was over. All in all, it was quiet. Night had fallen, but there was no reason to worry since you lived a few blocks away. Some things were just convenient like that. This week, it was Cindy's turn to close the store. Since you two had almost the same position, you decided that closing duties would be by turns. So you had your things ready to go home. Are you going to be okay? Sure, why not? Why wouldn't I be? That guy seemed a bit fixated on you, like yonder. You scoffed ironically. Come on me? Yeah, I don't get it either. Okay, ouch. But what if he follows you? Then I'll fight him. Then run. That's not going to happen. He left hours ago. There's no way he stayed working around here. Will you be surprised? I don't know. Your danger sensors isn't very accurate, I'll say. Danger is subjective. That's not true. Why do you care so much? I thought you hated me. Cindy was surprised by your words. She raised her gaze, playing with the mop handle. She had her hands to clean before closing. I don't hate you. I just think being with you is boring. Yeah, well, you're not exactly the life of the party. I don't mean it in a bad way, really. I feel peaceful with you. Oh, your discard for everything could be tiresome, but it was also covering in the way. You scratched your head, not knowing how to react to Cindy's words. She had never said anything nice to you till now. Cindy clears her throat, looking away with a embarrassed glimpse. What I mean is, I don't want anything bad to happen to you. He took a step forward towards her and placed a hand on her shoulder, smiling calmly. I'll be fine. Just because something's weird happened doesn't mean the universe has decided to turn against me. You shared a final farewell gesture before closing the door behind you. The store's sign indicated it was closed, and he sighed, feeling the weight of the adult life in a capitalist world lift a little from your shoulders. Just a little. Just a tiny, tiny bit. It was part of your routine, saying goodbye to Cindy and finally going home. You lived on your own since you started working, so you had extra responsibilities to worry about, which gave you space to focus on your own needs. It wasn't an extraordinary life, but it was functional. You worked during the week, earned enough money for rent and bills, and rested on weekends. You know, video store will be busy on weekends. Even though the streets was well lit, the atmosphere remained gloomy as you walked towards your apartment. It had always been like this. Nothing to fear, right? It was then that you felt your arm being pulled violently to one side. Maybe you should have been more alert. You're dragged into the alley behind the street. It's slightly darker, but the streetlight nearby allowed you to distinguish what was in front of you. Since the sun action disarrayed you, you were slow to react. What the? The sound of the slight blow to the side of your head interrupted you, and you realized the person who had cornered you against the brick wall behind you. You glanced at the person's arm, a more white sleeve covering an arm reached from your blind spot. You grew tired of the suspense and finally looked up at the person who covered you. You had an idea who it might be. There you go, Jeff. Why, Anne, meet me again. Uncertainly fills you at the sight of the white, scarred face. Jeff had removed his hood and bandana, revealing his face. His skin varied in colors, textures, and nose was shrunken. His milky blue eyes were deep-set dark circles, and you were certain you hadn't seen him blink once. But what caught your attention most was the scar that ran across his mouth. It didn't look like a clean cut, and in the way it disoriented his expression sent a shiver down your spine. You glanced at his face. You assumed his face would be imperfections. He wanted to hide, to avoid stares from strangers, but considering the bizarre situation was surprising. Jeff? Certainly you were in a disadvantage here. So you tried to think of a way to turn the tables. Wow. Who would have thought? A night, someone alone, gloomy alley, a classic. Jeff chuckled at your sarcasm. You don't drop that, Tom. Nope. Oh, yep, see knife. Then he pulled a knife from his hoodie pocket. Can I try a pretend you're ghost face? Good. Now make sure to give you a good show. His voice was raspy, saturated with anxiety, anxious tone. He seemed impatient. A show? Fear's exquisite. He whispered, almost uncertain, politically, leaned towards you, his breath gazing your face. Hey, no offense, but your whole approach feels very cliche. It's like you watch way too much horror movies. Jeff tilted his head to the side. He would have sworn it was his equivalent of raising an eyebrow. If he had eyebrows, that is. This isn't the time for jokes, don't you think? Yeah, well, I really don't know what motivated you to attack me. I thought we were getting along. Jeff pressed the whip of the blade against your cheek, the cold metal against your warm skin. Are you asking what makes you special? I was being special. It's being special having you drag me into the dark alley? Wow, you must be very popular. Just snorted in annoyance. He grabbed your shoulder with the hand that had cornered you and slammed you against the wall behind you. Come on, you don't like my sarcasm? He felt your head hit the rough texture of the hard surface, making him wince. Apologize? Tease him. You live. Tease him. Harder. Jeff raced you and stepped back a couple paces as if you burned him. Hey, Jeff, you have earrings now. His expression reflected surprise, and it was a bigger reaction than you expected. Relax, I was just kidding. That wasn't funny. It was to me. Definitely to me. Shut up, this shouldn't be funny. You should be afraid. Okay, if you want me to be afraid, you should get scarecrowing some fear talks and maybe we'll talk. Jeff approached you again, raising the knife to your neck. Instinctively pull you away from the blade, feeling the tip pierce your chin. You're in an alley, at night, with a knife to your throat. So I'll ask you again, are you afraid? Yes. Jeff hadn't made much of an impression on you. You were aware that your situation was dangerous, but it really couldn't matter less to you. But anyway, it seemed fun to see what would happen if you missed with him. For a moment, you decided to play along. You know what? Yes, I'm afraid. Jeff recovered his spirits, extending his wide smile. He wore the knife and kept it in his hand. He wasn't threatening you. Maybe he wanted to keep having fun with you. Good. That's what I wanted to hear. Typical. Now, what scares you about me? Evidently, Jeff enjoyed seeing fear in his victims. For now, he managed to keep him happy enough to maintain a conversation with you, but maybe he wanted to dig deeper. Perhaps he liked knowing the details what he provoked in his victims. We're staring and see where you are lying. That's funny. Can you accept the challenge of indulging him? Voice. Voice. Nobody ever said that before, You sound young. How old are you? Jeff was startled by the emotion. You think? And he's completely ignored your question. Maybe he was one of those who didn't like to say their age. This is more fun than I thought it would be. Anyway, why are you attacking me? Jeff stared at you in silence for a few seconds. His smile was static. He felt like demanding him he blink. I think killing you would be fun. Yeah, he's definitely pulling it. Definitely just going. I watched too much Scream. Great. He had hoped he was just simply a thief going for your anxiety teenage phrase and only wanted to scare you, but it turned out to be a madman who genuinely intended to murder you. You hit the jackpot of people we fought with. Then again, we have a lot of yonders here, so join the group, Jeff. And I thought I won your heart. Oh, that takes a lot more than just one day. That seemed like a useful information. But for the future, you should focus on surviving now. I know what to play a game. Play what? A simple game of tag. What happens if I win? I'll let you go. That's what you like me to say, He was an idiot, a very dangerous idiot. You had a choice to choose carefully. Alright. Wait, no. I'll chase you. I chase you. Jeff stumbled over his words, not having expected that response. I just want to make us live. Jeff strained up over you, analyzing your silence. His face was strangely expressionless, and you assumed because with his mouth mangled as it was, he continued to have the same expression permanently. Suddenly felt your neck squeeze tightly, making it hard to breathe. Instinctively, you raise your hands and pull Jeff's arm on impulse from your body to try fight. Fear me. The complaint sounded almost childish, despite coming from a frightened man. You tried to respond, anything but your vocal cords were being squeezed too tightly. You managed to hear his murmur before you felt the pressure on your neck release. His hand remains on your neck and only pressed enough to immobilize you. You cough and rasp for air and try to squeeze your breath. But then you realize Jeff was again almost on top of you, knife in hand. You felt pain in your cheek, but it was for an instant. Jeff made a clean cut on the skin of your left cheek. You felt the tickle of the thin line of blood running down your jaw. Why aren't you afraid? Jeff examined you in silence, as if looking for your reaction would give him a satisfying answer. It wasn't as if you didn't really feel anything. You recognized the situation was dangerous. Your body knew it from the strong pounding of your heart. But it had been from the start. You didn't care. But as it had been from the start, you didn't care. He wanted you to fear him, but since he was sparing you your life, and you didn't truly care about dying, consequently, you didn't fear him. defy him. Give up. You lower your gaze, but not have fear. Rather have weariness. What would you leave behind if you died? Not much, so I didn't care anymore. I'm sorry, Jeff, but I don't have fear to give you. ... Jeff remained silent for a second until he noticed his smile suddenly widen. He slowly leaned towards you and licked your wounded cheek, wiping away the line of blood. His breath brushed against your skin, warm and damp. The touch of his tongue burned on the wound, making you hiss. You could accept him licking you. He was just being weird. But you couldn't shake off what he wanted to tell you with that action. Tease him. Lick me? How romantic. I'm melting. Maybe if you tease him enough, he'll leave you alone. You had to try. Jeff growled through the gritted teeth, slamming you against the brick wall again. You outgrown a pain from the impact. Why don't you fear me? I don't know what you want from me, Jeff. Jeff lowered his head, seemingly disappointed. He glanced around hesitantly, not knowing what to do. But then he straightened up again. His smile was so wide, his lips were taut. There's nothing I could do if you don't fear death, but I can make you fear me. He raised the knife again, but not to stab you in the vital spot. Instead, he slowly brought the tip to your face, level with your left eye. I remember this. So we'll do this, Ryan. You swallow hard as a disoriented version of the knife tip millimeters from your pupil. I'm going to hurt you. Every time I catch you, I'll hurt you. And every time you avoid me, I'll back off a little. Jeff's eyes tremble, almost white, like two spotlights in the dark. Well, wait! You lost the first round. Jeff directed, pushing his hand forward. Blade dug into the corner of your eye, almost grazing your eyelid. You screamed with all your might until you felt your throat tear. Blood flowed like a small waterfall, and with that, your body shook, blood spattered. Jeff laughed, satisfied with your reaction, and pushed the blade deeper, burying it into the soft flesh of your eyeball. Ick. You choke on your saliva at the verge of vomiting from the unbearable pain. Your hand trailed at Jeff's chest, and you didn't move him an inch. Jeff violently shook the knife handle, moving it deeper into your eye. He shook the knife a little more and pulled, managing to yank out your eyeball, still connected by veins. What's happening? Is anyone there? Like heavenly bells, you managed to hear the voices of other people coming from nearby, but you no longer had the strength to stand. You collapsed on the ground, your left eye socket bleeding from the raw wound. It was your eye right there. Your vision was blurry and damaged. There's no way to trust what you saw. You can only focus on what you heard. Remember our game, YN. Jeff mumbled softly, his voice echoing from behind you. You managed to feel the footsteps of several people heading your way, so you surrendered to exhaustion and pain. Day 2. You had never felt so much pain before. Sure, you stumbled, scraped your knees, and burned your fingers with boiling water. Normal things. But this wasn't their level. This wasn't the physical pain that bothered you most, but the kind of pain that made you aware that everything that was happening mattered more than you wanted to. The kind of pain that wakes you up, forcing you to exist, rips you from the comfort of feeling nothing. To top it off, you want to sleep. Has always been your best plan in any situation. Of course, life loves to ruin your plans. Are you awake? The voice was masculine, soft, with the educated tone that inspired confidence. You didn't wake up immediately. You felt your body heavy with fatigue. But after a couple of uncomfortable breaths, you managed to force yourself to see. Light surrounded you. It took you a few seconds to realize you were in a hospital gurney. Rough sheets, the smell of disinfectant, and the fluorescent lights of lead bulbs. The good thing is there is nothing good. What was that? You were receiving medical care. Hopefully that wouldn't let you die stupidly after everything you went through last night. Finally, you focus on the source of the voice. Very handsome doctor, though I shouldn't get too close to. In front of you was a man in white coat, young, well-groomed, with a kind face. Do you know where you are? Hospital. The doctor nodded and wrote something in the papers he was carrying. Good, that's a good sign. Are you writing that down out of professionalism or because you need to fill space? The doctor raised an eyebrow at you, as if he hadn't expected such a brunt comment. But far from looking offended, he seemed intrigued. Both. Your voice was hoarse, and your throat hurt. You swallowed hard, trying to smooth the pain. The doctor gave you a serious look, as if telling you to take it easy. Do you remember your name? Say your name. It's YN. Your voice came out hoarse and broken, but clear enough for him to understand. The doctor nodded, concentrated. Evidently, he was asking you those questions to find out how disoriented your head was. Alright, do you know why you're here? He didn't answer immediately. The image appeared on its own. A scarred face, shrunken eyes, a disoriented smile. And then laughter. That damned laughter. Of course you knew why you were here. It was Jeff. Someone attacked me. The doctor approached and took your hand firmly. He didn't ask if you wanted that gesture. He just did it. You need to be professional. This place is safe. He didn't hurt you. He can't hurt you now. Are you sure about that? Are you sure? You stare at his hand over yours. You didn't know what was worse, the pain or how strange it felt for someone to comfort you in such a proper way. Good service, you thought. Maybe they'll bring you free coffee later. He noticed your silence and quickly pulled his hand back. He cleared his throat, embarrassed. Sorry, I haven't introduced myself. I'm your doctor, Paul Salazar. Salazar? It took a second to process. Nice to meet you, Dr. Salazar. I'd say I would have liked to meet you in another situation, but you know. He offered a brief smile, unsure whether to laugh or apologize again. I'll explain your situation a bit. He straightened up, becoming more serious. You have head energies. We need to monitor you for vomiting, dizziness, or loss of consciousness. An eye, missing eye. You also have some minor cuts. You don't need stitches, but no scratching or touching them. Understood? The exact moment he said that, the itch attacked you. Damn suggestion. The most important thing now is you're suffering suffering aspiration. I can't pronounce. Don't strain yourself. Don't talk much. If you feel dizzy or have trouble breathing, let us know. This can be an inhaler. He nodded in silence, setting slowly into the gurney. Thin fabric of the ground scratched your skin a little. The mattress smelled of disinfectant. Everything smelled of disinfectant. And about your eye. His tone changed. It was about to deliver very bad news, as if he was about to deliver very bad news. I'm sorry we couldn't save it. Cold, as if someone had opened a window in the middle of winter. Instinctively, you raised a trembling hand to the left side of your face. Just bandages. Just emptiness. You had imagined losing things, objects, relationships, time. But this was different, losing pieces. You'll be able to live a normal life, he said quickly, as if wanting to remedy your situation. You lose some depth perception, but it won't uphold your life. Later, you can opt for a prosthetic if you wish. Now, more important thing is that it heals well. He noticed your silence. Your lack of reaction made him uncomfortable. He leaned slightly towards you. Are you okay, Ryan? Yes. You will be okay. I'll be fine. It's just an eye. I have another one. You didn't know if it was true, but it didn't matter. You didn't say it for him. You said it to cut off the conversation. Talking hurt. Listening did too. Dr. Salazar looked at you, as if wanting to read something more to your face, but he only found the unusual empathy. It's like, I'm just cutting myself off from the world now. You don't have to pretend to be strong. We have professionals you could talk to. I'm not pretending, I don't care. There it was, the barrier, the subtle but solid. You didn't want comfort, you didn't want company, you just wanted to be left alone. For a second, the silence in the room weighed more than the pain in your body. Is there anyone you like to call? Any family, a friend, or a partner? You didn't want to admit your life was solitary, but you couldn't just lie to your doctor. I want to see. Your family lives in their city. You don't want to talk to your family. Understood, Stan. Dr. Salazar scratched his head awkwardly. Precisely why you didn't want to say anything in the first place. There must be someone in the city who you're in contact with, right? A coworker? Talking about work reminded you of a certain person. What time is it, Doctor? Dr. Salazar shook his wrist and glanced at his watch. It's 4 a.m. Why? There's someone I can call, but it's very early. Someone tapped you. They'll understand. You pushed your lips into a line with doubt. You didn't have much closeness with her, but you couldn't think of anyone else. Sydney, all right, I'll give you her number. You wrote a phone number on the piece of paper and handed it to him. Staff members will be coming by tomorrow. You can ask them for whatever you need. Okay. Dr. Salazar nodded slightly at your affirmation and headed for the room's door. The door. But before leaving, he turned to you. When you feel better, you can talk to the police. For now, rest. And with that, the doctor left the room, leaving you with your thoughts. You vaguely remember hearing people approach you when you passed out in the alley. They surely scared Jeff away. The important thing is that you're safe and monitored. There's no way Jeff can reach you, right? Right? Newsflash, he will. It wasn't strange that you worried about it, since the last thing he told you was that he would hunt you down until he found you. But again, you were in the hospital, so it was supposed to be safe. All that thinking exhausted you again, and you settled into the gurney to rest. A few minutes, you wanted to sleep, even if it was just a few minutes. As you slept, you could have sworn you felt a caress on your cheek. It was soft and delicate, fingers tracing your right cheekbone, moving down your jaw slightly, brushing your lips. Open your single eye, you scan the room, looking for whoever might have touched you while you slept. But you only saw Cindy. Oh, she came. Why in? Suddenly, and to your great surprise, Cindy wrapped her arms around your shoulders, leaning in for a tight hug. You froze. I thought you wouldn't have woken up. Thank goodness. Cindy pulled away from you, treating you with delicacy you weren't used to. Is it your imagination, or is it as Cindy was playing with the role of your best friend? She was far from your best friend. You've only known her for a while. Okay, you were the one who gave Salazar her contact, but only because she was the closest person you have on hand. What's up with all the affection? A ray seemed to strike Cindy, make her recall with dismay, a dismayed expression. I don't know, but I'd like to. It's like you suddenly became very important. So you weren't before. Okay, one thing is you're thinking about yourself personally, but it hurt a little to hear someone say it. When I found out what happened to you, I came right away. I didn't want you to be alone right now. How are you feeling? Sneeze sat in the chair to your right. This wasn't time maintaining a more cordial distance. Understandable, you only worked in the same store. A little pain, but I think overall I'm fine. Sydney lowered her gaze with concern, then raised it to you. She sighed heavily, bringing her fingers to her forehead. I told you to be careful. That comment was unnecessary. Was she trying to blame you? Yes. As if what happened to you was your fault and not a butthole who ripped out your eye. I remind you, I was attacked. It was not my fault. I don't mean that. Now you're supposed to be carrying coworker. That's a bad joke. Lion. It wasn't the volume of her voice, nor the fact that she called you by your name. It was her breaking tone that made you stop. I don't understand myself either. I don't think you mattered so much to me. Hey, you were on the verge of dying and I was terrified. It's like you're started to develop a gravitational field, and now several people are revolving around you. Jeff, Salazar, Cindy. It only took a madman to stalk you and rip out your eye, right? I don't know how to explain it, but I'm worried about you. Can you stop being an idiot about it and just accept it? You couldn't help but fall silent at her declaration. You'd be lying if you said your heart didn't beat fast. I'm gonna question her. By chance, did you caress me while I was sleeping? Cindy stared at you, especially. Ew, no. Yes, that's the Cindy you knew. Well then, who was it? What do I know? It's not like... Cindy stopped speaking as if a thought had struck her. The one who attacked you was it the same weirdo from the store? After a light knock on your room door, two people appeared. Perfect timing to interrupt your conversation. Who are these people? Good evening, Ryan. We're Lieutenant Wes and Detective Sean. Can we ask you a few questions? You look at the police with your one eye. Sure. A man and a woman dressed in formal attire. The man spoke, showing his badge, and the woman, Detective Sean, did the same. They looked at you seriously, but at the same time they didn't seem very worried about you. Rather, it seemed they were more interested in what you had to say. Your doctor told us that you had visitors. it's more comfortable for you, we can do the interview if you're present. Lion just woke up. They need a rest. Sydney spoke over her shoulder to them, uninterested in their presence. The sooner we talk, the sooner we'll catch whoever did this to you. Heat rose from your chest to your head, to your eye socket. You didn't know if it was a response from your body or just anger towards Jeff, but you managed to hide it. It's okay, Cindy. I won't answer what I can. Detectives seemed to relax a little at your words. They stood on their side of your bed, was standing next to you, making eye contact to convey more trust, while Sean took out a notepad to take notes. Classic good cop, bad cop. Let's start with the more important thing. Did you see your attacker? Well, one has to write it down, one has a question. Oh yeah, it wasn't pretty. Could you give us more details? Like his social security number? Really? Would I have it? You were joking, obviously. You were in a hospital bed with one eye missing and on painkillers. You're allowed to have some fun. They asked if it was a man or a woman, height, build, clothes. I know, geez, nobody appreciates a joke. It was a man, white, tall, I don't know, maybe 6'3". He was wearing a white hoodie. Terrible clothes for a criminal, if you ask me. You can see the bloodstains. You glance at Cindy. Eyes since she was easy since she was on your right side. She had a thoughtful expression. Most likely, she had concluded you were talking about Jeff, or she knew him, the weirdo from the store. Any special characteristics? His face was messed up, if you know what I mean. The three of them looked at you in silence for a few seconds, and you felt pressure to give more details. He had many scars. His mouth, it was ripped. Cindy looked so disgusted with the description that she seemed about to vomit. Wes and Sean exchanged a silent glance, then they looked back at you. Alright, did anything unusual happen the day of your attack? I think the normal amount of weird that we all can have in a day. Stop messing around. Cindy scolded you, not shouting, but using an elevated tone of voice that made you pout. There was a weird guy who showed up at the store. What would you define as weird? Cindy rolled her eyes. Wow, you didn't see Cindy as someone who rebels against authority. He went on and on over an hour. He was very interested in YN. Wes directed his attention to you, raising an eyebrow. Did you interact with him? Exaggerate. Wait, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Well, truthfully, I flirted with him a little. She's like, what? You felt everyone in the room judging you. What? Yeah, it was strange, but it was almost cute. The air grew uncomfortable. Did he say anything about himself? Any moves? Or why he left you alive? The question surprised you. It was as if they were surprised you had survived. Well, she knew she wasn't entirely wrong to ask that, since it was precisely Jeff's threat that kept you alive. You might have revealed that part of the information by slipping a slip of tongue, but Cindy interrupted before you could say anything. What kind of question is that? We are building a profile of the suspect. Any details can help us. The guy's literally had his face covered. He's full of scars. What more do you want? How can you not find someone like that? Miss, you need to calm down. They're looking for Jeff precisely. They already know. No, for a case like this, with that physical description, you should already be looking for him. The longer it takes, the further he might be. The room fell silent for a few moments, and you felt awkward about the argument. You're right. We'll stop for now. But Lieutenant, Maya needs a rest. Wes guided Sean towards the front of the room exit. Turn back to you one last time. Get well. You nod in silence before watching them leave. Again, you are alone with Cindy. This time, the silence was heavy with many questions that surely would have been useful for catching Jeff. Cindy mumbled to herself, but then noticed your gaze on her. She strained in her seat, as if nothing had happened. Don't worry, Wyan. They'll find him. Should you mention Jeff's promise? It would probably be the smartest thing to do, but for now, you allowed yourself to just ask one last thing. Hey, Cindy? You don't like cops? Cindy stared in her seat, and her face paled. She averted her gaze, rubbing her fingers indecisively. It was clear she didn't want to answer. It's okay, forget about it. You'd brush it off with a smile and wave of your hand. Unfortunately, Cindy seemed to relax. I am going to get breakfast. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, will you bring me something? Sure, what do you prefer? Something salty? Something sweet. Okay, doesn't matter. Something salty. Cindy nodded and stood up. She headed for the room door, but before she could grasp the handle, someone else opened it. Cindy moved aside, letting the doctor in. She gave a brief greeting, glancing at him before leaving the room. Yeah, that wasn't a doctor, Cindy. But thank you for letting him stay. He watched as the doctor entered the room in silence, carrying a mental tray. You remember Dr. Salza warning you that they would come periodically to monitor you. He begins to move his hands, preparing whatever was on the tray. Be cold. Okay, I have to be cold. Be cold. Hey, are you here to monitor me or something? He received no answer. He sighed and looked away. You didn't know if it was a response to trauma or something else, but he felt certain aversion to this tall man, dressed in white with long black hair. Like, you know this hair. He's suspicious, isn't he? Anyway, your throat felt dry. Excuse me, could I have some water? The doctor suddenly froze and stared like that for a few seconds. Then he moved again. You could only see the doctor's back from your spot. So, I just thought we're having the doctor told us not to talk, but the detectives came in anyway. You can only see the doctor's back from your spot. You heard the unmistakable sound of water being poured. The simple sound made you thirstier, most likely because your sore throat begged to be refreshed. The doctor took a few steps and approached you. I already know who it is. You tried to sit up, but your body felt very heavy. He felt a hand on your back, helping you to straighten up. The touch was soft and attentive. It made you realize how vulnerable you were. Then you felt the rim of the glass at your lips. You drank the water slowly, your throat burning but relieved by the coldness. You didn't just take a sip. When you finished, he sighed with relief, glancing at the doctor attending to you. His bangs covered his features, and he wore a disposable mask. Well, where have you seen that before? Well, Owie, the store. Mock him. Sorry. I had to mock him. I have to be rude to him. How many years in medical school did it take to you to know an unconscious patient needs to be dehydrated, Doc? You were playing with fire, but the situation was so bizarre, you couldn't take it seriously. The doctor didn't respond and went back to his previous spot, doing whatever he was doing. After drinking water, he felt better and could speak. According to Dr. Salazar's instructions, he shouldn't talk much, but he felt well enough to retain a conversation even if maintain a conversation. Fort. Distrust. Okay, I have to distrust. Distrust. Are you really a doctor? It was quite obvious that this doctor had no intention of getting along with you. You didn't know whether to ask personally or not. You would expect to be treated with care in the hospital, but everything indicated that wouldn't be a case. Indicate that this wouldn't be a case. Complain. Hey, if you don't feel like getting along with people, I think you should reevaluate your career. Yeah, I think he has a good career with that. Stabby. Did you hear me? The doctor continued to remain silent. He was right to annoy you. One more try. Maybe you could get some words out of him if you assisted one last time. Tell him what happened to you. You know someone attacked me? The doctor remained motionless in the spot. It was someone I talked to at my job. I guess he didn't like me. Oh, I wouldn't say that. The doctor suddenly mumbled, his voice too familiar. The doctor returned to your side, pulling down his disposable mask to his chin. Yeah, he definitely liked us. Jeff was surprised. I didn't know it was you. I don't appreciate your sarcasm. Your heart pounded in response to the proximity of the person who ripped out your left eye. Your body was afraid, but your mind wasn't. So did you come to give me a special care? Jeff chuckled, pulling the syringe from his pocket. Something like that. Wait, what are you doing? He brought the syringe to your IV, injected it into the tubing. Relax, it won't kill you. It'll make you feel a little agitated. The moment he did that, he felt your heart start to pound faster. You began to breathe rapidly, as if you had to run a marathon. Instinctively, he brought a hand to your chest, clenching the fabric of the hospital gown. You, Paul. Jeff clicked his tongue, shaking his head. Have some respect for your doctor. Jeff reached a hand towards you and held your chin between his fingers, lifting your head to look at him. Feeling weak and tired, you let yourself be held, too drained to scream for help or break free from his grip. Remember, we're playing. I'm in the hospital. How did you expect me to escape from you? You're a cheater. He gasped in frustration, lacking the energy to speak properly. Consider it a warning. Jeff shrugged, unconcerned. Suddenly, an alarm began to blare, and the sound of rapid footsteps came from outside the room. That's my cue. Jeff pulled his mask back and stood up. I hope you prove your strategy. It would be a shame if you end up boring me, Jeff said before disappearing amongst the small crowd of nurses and doctors who entered and headed for you. Wouldn't it be kind of weird if one person going the opposite direction, though? We have severe hyperthermia. Mr. Calcium glycinate involuntarily 10 millimeters of 10% solution slowly. Now, amidst the stretchings the medical jargon he didn't fully understand, he eyed Jeff suspiciously as he retreated if nothing had happened, hidden in plain sight. Was it really that easy for him to infiltrate? Either Jeff had superhuman ability to go unnoticed, or the people in the hospital were inept. Or just all stupid, yeah. You want to believe it was the first option. Anyway, they were able to treat you quickly, so you felt considerably better. If you notice, compromised kidney function, order urgent diagnosis. Dr. Salazar was giving instructions to another doctor, one who you knew now, one you now were surely was a resident. The resident nodded to Dr. Salazar's orders and withdrew, leaving you two alone. Dr. Salazar rubbed his temple and came to your bedside. His gaze reflected concern, so he couldn't help but look away, feeling guilty. Wyan, you suffered severe hypothermia. Do you have any idea what might have caused it? You bit your lower lip at the question. You were having a hard time convincing yourself to trust anyone with the whole Jeff situation. Keep it to yourself. We'll have to keep it to ourselves. Keep it to ourselves. You decide it was best to deal with it on your own. Because I think he will still die. The fact that Jeff was able to walk into the hospital and inject you with something under guard told you that the protection in that place was not safe. I don't know. I was unconscious the whole time. Dr. Salazar leaned towards you, placed a hand on your side of your head. Whatever happened, you could trust me. Yeah. No. You managed to survive so far. You could continue to do so without anyone's help. Call it a feeling, but something told you Jeff wasn't going to attack you anytime soon, so he had time to form a plan. Jeff didn't hurt you so much as he did before, so he probably meant it when he said it was a warning. A warning that he could do something worse to you, and it's up to you to prevent it. So no, he didn't want to trust the doctor you just met. Doctor, I'm telling you the truth. Dr. Salazar looked at you for a few seconds, unconvinced, then sighed and distanced himself. Okay, try to rest. He nodded silently, but unlike before, the doctor called someone from outside the room. A nurse quickly arrived. Be alert to the monitor. If there's any change, report it. The nurse nodded at the instruction and stayed in the room near the heart monitor you had connected. Clearly, Dr. Salazar didn't trust leaving you alone. I will come in periodically. You didn't know if he said it to the nurse or to you, but you nodded anyway and laid back on the stretcher with a tired sigh. Surviving a sadistic killer was exhausting. When Cindy arrived and Dr. Salazar told her you had a minor seizure, she became more concerned that she considered staying with you for the rest of the day. Even though you appreciated the gesture, you weren't entirely happy with it, so you convinced her to go to work, asking her to cover for you. Anyway, Dr. Salazar gave you a week of rest. Since you were kept under observation, you had to spend the rest of the day and night in the hospital. But when the next morning came, everything was ready to discharge you. Day free. Next day, you were discharged, and luckily you had the transportation issue covered. Go ahead, Wyan. Oh, Wes, I like you. Thank you. Lieutenant Wes opened the car door for you, while Detective Sean took the driver's seat. You got from the wheelchair. You were taken to the hospital entrance in. Wyan! You turned to the sound of your name. Dr. Salazar, what is it? Dr. Salazar took a moment to breathe, then handed you a business card. Oh, his name's Paul. My card, you could call me whenever you want, or if you need anything. Oh, thank you. He took the piece of paper and playfully shook it. Who would have thought I could get someone's number if I get her a little? Dr. Salazar's mouth dropped in surprise, then he cleared his throat. His cheeks flushed. This is a professional concern. Wes raised an eyebrow at the doctor, who awkwardly scratched his head and retreated. It's called hospital if I need help. Has that doctor been inappropriate with you? We're just making blush. No, he's been quite nice. Wes shrugged and gestured back to the car. This time without interruption, you sat in the back seat. When Wes got into the passenger seat, the car started and drove off. Most of the time there was silence until you suddenly saw Wes nudge Sean. She cleared her throat, looking at you in the rearview mirror. So Wyan, are you feeling alright now? It surprised you that the more distant cop was trying to talk to you, but he didn't have to be rude or judge our efforts. Well, mostly because of the painkillers. You couldn't help but caress the clinical patch covering your left eye socket with your fingertips. Sean paused and replied, You may have scars, but they're proof that you survived. You couldn't help but be surprised for a moment by the encouraging comment, but you had to admit it made your day. Thank you. Sean looked straight ahead, focused on the road, but something made you think. She felt calmer. Will your girlfriend come to see you at your home? Your mind froze for an instant at Wes's question. Excuse me? Miss Sydney. Oh! You didn't know whether to be offended or embarrassed. She's just a coworker. We're not even that close. Oh, I thought... He turned to Sean with a look to ask for help, but he was completely ignored. I saw her very attentive and protective of you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It's okay. It also strikes me that way. But it's nice to see that someone cares about me in the city. You're on your own, I understand. Yeah, and I deal with it. We can ask for protection for you. Oh, like watching wherever I live? Yes. Now, we assume your attacker's on the run, but we can't assume he won't come back to finish the job. Oh, he's definitely gonna try to finish the job. Wes shifted uncomfortably in the seat. Wes. Wes. It's okay. I don't mind. In fact, having protection gave you a sense of security, considering Jeff would come looking for you. You were aware that you were hindering the investigation by concealing key information, such as Jeff's name and the game he initiated. But after witnessing how easily he got away with it in the hospital, something told you the universe was on his side. Honestly, it makes me feel better. A shiver of danger ran down your neck as your body sensed Jeff's presence nearby. The memory of the sharp pain in your eye being ripped out made you settle deeper into your seat. Perhaps, just perhaps, it was affecting you more than you cared to admit. We're here. You saw your building's entrance from the car window, making you sigh with relief. Finally could go back to your bed. We'll be on alert. We'll notify you of any updates. This is my number. Call if you need anything. I'm sure my concern is strictly professional. Unlike the doctor's. You took a business card with your fingertips, saying the name Prin W. Wes. Flirt with Wes. For Sean. Ask about the case. Sure. Ask about the case. Can I ask you something? They look at you for their receipts, expecting you to your next words. I couldn't help but notice that you were surprised at seeing me survive. Wes looked at Sean for a moment. Seriously, she nodded firmly. We had to tell him. Well, we have to tell him, Wallace. I mean them. I think I found a typo. Tell them, Wallace. Wes paused and sighed heavily. We suspect someone who might be the man who attacked you. He swallowed hard. Who do you think it is? We believe it's someone named Jeff. We don't know his last name exactly. He's a very dangerous man. He's evading the law for over a decade. His name's Jeff the Killer. Wes settled into his seat to face you. Ryan, He's a crazy killer, and if we're right about this, you'll be the first victim we know of that he leaves alive. Well, that was a big information dump. Presumably viable. Alright, understand. Are you going to be okay with on your own? Do you want us to get you a hotel? No thanks, I'll be fine. Wes looked at you indecisively for a moment, but then gave in when he saw you got out of the car. You closed the door and stood on the sidewalk for a moment, watching the car blend into the traffic. You sighed with relief, turning towards your building's lobby. When you reached your apartment, it was just as you left it 2 days ago. The apartment was furnished and you had a few belongings, so there was no mess, but definitely leaving a place for 2 days had caused some dust to accumulate. So the first thing you did was sweep and dust. You opened the windows while shaking the sofa cushions, then dusted the TV. You threw out all the bad food in the fridge and cleaned the inside. You went to the bathroom when you cleaned the surface until you couldn't see a trace of dirt. Finally, you reached your bedroom. It was emptier than you would have liked. You would have posters, lights, furniture, posters, whatever it was to cover the white walls. Anyway, now you don't have time to worry about that. You have to deal with the most important thing. You locked all the windows you could reach and went to the entrance and double-checked the door. It peered out the window and saw a patrol car parked in the street across from you. You sighed and settled on the sofa, recovering your breath and the sense of security you had lost a long time ago. Tickling Jeff couldn't reach you. He shouldn't. Are you sure about that? But you can never be too sure, for convenience of the script. To distract yourself, you turned on the TV and changed channels until you found one you were interested in, until it landed on a news report showing the very similar scene. Is that the street where the video store is? You turned on the volume with more interest. A person was attacked at 9 p.m. on Thursday. With serious injuries, medical sources reported that the victim is recovering. Descriptions of the attacker indicate a tall white man between 20 and 30 years old, with scars on his face. He wears black and white clothes and frequently covers his face. The subject is attributed with 27 murders, but investigators estimate the real number could exceed 100. It was pretty obvious that they were talking about your attack. You felt your hands lose strength. The more you listened to the journalist, the more you learned about Jeff. He had killed so many people. Did he really leave you alive? And why? He vaguely remembered was arguing with some people outside your hospital room. He was surely chasing away journalists who wanted to talk to you. Better that way, you would have less chance to mess up. If they had put you in front of the cameras with microphones in your face and journalists looking at you hungry with information, you could have revealed information that wouldn't have been convenient for just stalking. Because everything indicated, no matter where you went, Jeff would find you. Feeling the sweat run down your face, you went to the bathroom and washed your face, sighing in front of the sink. You looked at yourself in the mirror, and for the first time, you witnessed your current appearance. Your expression went tired, not had yet, but close. Dark, finger-shaped marks surrounded your neck, making you swallow. But then you noticed the patch over your left eye. With trembling fingers, you unhooked the elastic strap to the patch from your head and revealed the adhesive patch. You moved that piece, and all that remains was a gauze. Patiently removed the gauze to finally see what Jeff had done to you. After removing the piece of cloth, you saw the eyelid drooping, and when you tried to blink, your eyelid trembled, revealing the inside of your eye socket covering with pink and shiny skin. You felt curious and extended your lower lid to get a better look inside your eye socket. I wouldn't want to do that. It's strange because somehow you feel like your eye is still there. What is it called? Phantom sensation? I think that is what it's called. If you look to your right, you felt your left eye do the same, even though its clarity wasn't there anymore. It's one of my best works. He froze at the voice. Uh-oh, he's in the room. Your vision cleared, and in the mirror reflection behind you, you could see Jeff's silhouette. You turned suddenly, and your heart pounding, but there was no one. You took a moment to catch your breath, then brought a hand to your face. Were you really starting to hallucinate? It seemed Jeff had made quite an impression on you. Could it be that you were truly afraid? Let's go from now. Nah, it wasn't that big of a deal. What was your body reacting to trauma? Nothing more. All that thinking about the madman was making you tired. You went to the kitchen to eat something. You decided to make instant ramen. You accompanied it with a soda and took your painkillers, then went to bed. You wanted to go to sleep feeling safe, thinking you'd be fine. But since someone is reading this, that won't happen. You heard the crack, which woke you up immediately. You didn't know if it was just because you're a light sleeper or because you felt alert, but you're glad it was. You stayed in your spot for a moment, hoping it was just your imagination again, and you heard another creak, and this time you knew it was because there was someone in the house. You have to hide. Closet. You wait a few seconds. Actually, wait, I saved just in case. Closet. You wait a few seconds, which turned out to be eternity, as you heard the sound of someone opening doors and rummaging through things. But your hopes for having chosen a good hiding spot vanished when you heard the closet door open. Why in? Jeff sounded delighted to see you, but the big knife in his hand didn't inspire anything good. You lost again, He had no time to think as Jeff stabbed you in the stomach. You fell on the floor because of the intense color and loss of blood. You're not that good at this game, Wyan. Feeling the cold moonlight filter through the window, he fell unconscious. You died. Well, the closet didn't work, so let's try bathroom. You felt safe, but then you heard the doorknob rattle. Wyan, I caught you. You didn't answer. The door was stuck, and you heard thunderous blows. Let me in, I won. You remained silent. Maybe you'll get tired and leave. Open up. The door shook, and you flinched in surprise. A heavy blow hit the door, and then another, until the wood gave in. Uh-oh. Wyan. The way he said your name was eerie, with a clenched teeth and a growl. You couldn't do anything as Jeff lunged at you with a knife in his hand. He died. Well, definitely not the bathroom. Well, we know bathroom and closet are out, so living room. You waited patiently in silence, hoping that time would pass quickly. But a creak in front of you froze. You froze. Hi. Do you know you have died? Nope. Oh well. Jeff grabbed you by the neck, choking you. And then you felt yourself being pierced in the side. This was too easy. You died. Well, no one did. Then it's bad. Okay, bed. You lived. You crawled as silently as possible under your bed and waited. You heard soft, continuous creaks. Suddenly you saw feet crossing your bedroom door, and your breathing stopped. Black combat boots advanced slowly, surrounding your bed. You watched, praying he would leave you alone. The person stayed for a few more moments, then retreated into the same slowness. You felt you could breathe again. You stayed for a few moments, then started thinking about what to do next. Oh, I'll save. Yes. Bed. Closet. Living room. Bathroom. Okay, that's actually what we're gonna do, but I want to see the ends. Bed. It's a good hiding spot. A bit predictable, though. Aye. Boo. Maybe too much. You crawled to the back, and Jeff crawled after you, laughing. Why a naughty move? The space was too small. You felt Jeff's breath on your ear. You lost again. You felt the cold blade of the knife on your neck, and with a screech, you felt the burning sensation pierce you. You died. So the living room is still the same, so I'm just gonna do the bathroom. You tiptoed to the bathroom and locked the door. You got into the tub and take a shelter behind the curtain. You waited patiently, listening to the sound of someone opening doors and moving things. Suddenly, silence. Save. Definitely not the... I'm gonna say living room. Living room. Stealthily, you went to the living room and hid behind the sofa. You waited patiently in silence, hoping the time would pass quickly. Although you were in a very exposed place. Closet. You went into the closet and stayed in silent, listening to your heartbeat in your ears. You waited for a second, which felt like an eternity, as you heard someone opening doors and moving things around. Your hopes were fading. You couldn't go from one place to another all night. How could he'd be so persistent? Exhaustion was overcoming you. You felt your legs losing strength. You slowly fell to your knees, leaning against the wall. You no longer cared if Jeff caught you. To heck with him and his stupid game. Suddenly you heard a heavy sigh from somewhere in your apartment. Slowly and softly, you peer through the closet opening. Jeff was in your living room, subtly lit by the moonlight filtering through the window. He had the knife in his hand, which made you think you were lucky to have avoided him. I know you heard me, Wyan. You win this round. Exhaustion vanished in an instant, suddenly placed by this Furia. But don't forget, I'll be watching you. That was a fact you already knew. He had visited you in the hospital and followed you home. It goes without saying that you never felt safe anywhere. You heard the main door open and close, and that filled you with relief that made you fall unconscious in your spot. Anyway, how could that malice have fooled the police? How could that maniac fool the police? One of three options. One, he killed the police. That was the most tenuous scenario, so it would involve many more police. 2, the police didn't see him, which caused you immense disappointment. And 3, Jeff is very good at slipping away. Or all 3. You still didn't know what he did, how he did it. Maybe find out in the future, or maybe not. Time would tell. Day 4. The next day was strangely calm. The night before, he barely got any decent sleep. If in the closet, it must be said. The relief of feeling that his stocking had ended, even for just one day, drained your body's strength. So you woke up in the cramped space of the closet with an aching body. The first thing you did upon waking up out the window, you didn't know whether to laugh or cry when you saw the same patrol car from yesterday in the same spot. Did Jeff really sneak into your apartment so easily? You checked the locks and they weren't broken. That meant Jeff, besides bypassing the police, didn't force his way in. What the crap? That means he was already in. If everything became too convenient, especially for a spin story. Before you were sure Jeff was human, but now you were starting to consider other options. You scared the front door again, considering buying a new deadbolt. But first things first, you had to eat breakfast. You opened your fridge and disappointment flooded you when you saw it was practically empty. There was 2 wrinkled tomatoes, a half-empty juice carton you checked by shaking it, and half a million women. You remember throwing out the spoiled food from the day before, but you also hadn't gone grocery shopping. You prepared to leave, grabbing your wallet and head to your apartment entryway, fiddling with your keys. You took one last look inside your apartment and left, locking all the doors. A moment of doubt stopping you, and you checked the light bulb in the upper corner of your door. Excellent. Jeff's superhuman's ability to get into your apartment was called spare keys. You couldn't believe you had actually forgotten that. Well, time to go find a new place to live then. The mini market you visited was 2 blocks from your apartment, on the opposite side of the video store. It has Oreos. It's like, I'll get all that stuff right here. It didn't have many things, but it was enough for desperate times like now. You looked for essentials amongst aisles in refrigerators. Normal option. What does it give us all? Okay, normal option. Locking the checkout, you felt a move in the corner of your right eye. A white movement. Your heart raced, but the presence of many people restored some confidence, so you subtly followed the movement. You approached the snack shelf. Amongst price tags, covered bags, and shiny containers, you could perceive a white glint hidden in the other side of the shelf. He's here. You weren't leaning around the corner, slowly peeking out. You could make out the posture of someone crouching, wearing white clothes. Why in? This call of your name startled you, making you drop your groceries. Oh, it's a doctor. Oh, I'm so sorry. You watched in amazement at Dr. Salazar knelt down, beginning to pick up your groceries. Dr. Salazar? You could call me Paul. Okay, Paul, what are you doing here? You didn't know if Jeff's stalking was starting to affect you more than you liked, but you convinced yourself you were just taking precautions. You didn't want another stalker on your list. My shift ended a few hours ago. I like coming to a coffee shop nearby and couldn't help but see you through the window, so I hope it doesn't bother you. Are you yawned there too? I know Jeff's a little bit of a yawn there. Paul chuckled awkwardly, as if trying to shed a bad image. Oh, okay. You knelt too, finishing picking up your things. How are you feeling? How's your eye? You safely brought your hand to your left eyelid, covered by the patch. It doesn't hurt anymore. That's good. Are you going to want a prosthetic? It depends. Can I choose the color? Of course. You could choose the color and size of the iris, the pupil, and even I'm not even going to pronounce it. That's great. I'll think about it. So it's Paul, Dr. Paul, I'm going to just say Dr. Paul, nod with a faint smile. Can I help you with your shopping? Thanks, you're very kind. Anything for my patient. The patient he wants to go out with. Paul helped you carry your things to the checkout, and you paid. You left the store and stood in the sidewalk for a moment. You held one of the bags in your hand while he carried the other. Are you doing your groceries? It's for breakfast. Paul looked at you with surprised eyes, then shook his head. It's already noon, Ryan. He flinched at the scolding. Hearing it from the doctor made you feel more guilty. Hey, Paul, does not matter. Breakfast at noon doesn't mean anything. I know, there was circumstances, and now I'm on it. He looked at you with silence for a few seconds, then cleared his throat against his fist. I could invite you to breakfast. What? I said I wanted to invite you to breakfast. You saw his nervous posture and nervous blush in his cheeks. He tilted your head curiously. Like a date? Paul coughed in his hand, but quickly recovered. I wouldn't want you to misunderstand, but yes, I guess so. I'm inviting you on a date. He stood in silence for a moment, considering the proposal. You always had an option to flirt with people you met, but that didn't mean you were serious. It was fun to see other people's reactions to your teasing, and maybe there was little hope in you that it would lead somewhere. And now you had the option to go further. Jet, I'm sorry, but I can't. I'm trying to go for Jeff. Disappointment reflected in his expression. Oh, do you have someone else? It's not that. I have things to do today, but I could go out another day, okay? His glance didn't seem to change at your words, but with the silence, he smiled faintly. Understand another day is. At least let me walk you home with your groceries. And plus, I don't think we've flirted with him. He pondered his words for a moment. Definitely wouldn't hurt to have him accompany you. It would feel safe, in fact. Sure. He led the way and you walked in silence all the way. You arrived at the entrance of your building and see that he had no intention of leaving you there. You continued guiding him until you stopped at your apartment door. Here we are. He remained looking at the door for a few seconds and smiled faintly as he stood in the bag he was carrying towards you. It was a pleasure seeing you, Ryan. Likewise, Paul. His smile widened, regained some of the energy he had lost from your rejection. You call me whatever you want. I'll keep that in mind. He's headed for the exit without turning back for a moment to wave goodbye to you. You returned to his wave and stayed in the hallway until you no longer saw him. He sighed faintly, returning to the reality of your situation. Right, you need to be careful. You unlocked every lock and entered your apartment, locking it again. You made sure to hide the spare keys inside your apartment. You left your groceries in the kitchen and put everything away, then thought about what you would have for breakfast. You started the coffee maker with the new coffee you brought and 2 slices of bread in the toaster. You hadn't realized how late it was when he pointed out to you. You must have been really tired to have slept almost 10 hours after Jeff entered your apartment in the early morning. You peered out the window again, and the patrol car was still there. You didn't know if it was the same one or a different one, but at least you had protection, right? Once he killed him. One joke. With your coffee ready and your toast, you sat on the small table and called your dining table. You were halfway through the bite when you heard a knock on the door. You calmly looked at the door in silence. Why, it's me! You relaxed when you realized it was Cindy. Well, you were quite popular today. You went and opened the door, making space for her to enter. Cindy quickly came in. What brings you here? It was a surprise that she knew where you lived, as it wasn't the first time she had visited. Since she and her father, your boss, were the only people you knew in the city, if something unexpected happened, like a balance check or some mishap at the store, they would personally notify you at your apartment. Did they catch the guy? He shrugged. Nope. You need to take this seriously, even if they arrange protection for you. It's not 100% safe to apply on that. Oh, I know. I 100% know. So you saw the patrol car outside? Cindy brought a hand to her forehead. Yeah, there are also many journalists in the store. It leaked that you worked there, so I had to close temporarily. Oh, I'm sorry. Cindy sighed, taking a seat on the sofa. No, this is your fault, Ryan. I should have accompanied you that day. He joined her, sitting next to her. Don't say that. You had no way of knowing. Cindy cleared her throat, changing the subject. So, do you know any details about your case? Oh, well, it seems that they know who he is. Cindy's interest is piqued. Really? Who? A guy with a body count of 27? Victims? Cindy looked at you spectacly, ignoring your joke. It seemed that she hadn't seen the news. Of course. When would she have time, having to deal with chasing away invasive journalists? It seems that I'm the first victim he left alive. Cindy let out a gasp. Just what we needed, a serial killer fixated on you. Well, won't be the first one. She wasn't wrong. They didn't say that he was a serial killer. Well, I think it's heavily applied with 27 people, a body count of 27. If you murder more than 3 people and has been doing it for years, he falls into the category of serial killers. Technically, I think it's after 1 year. Technically, I would say you're a serial killer. Okay. Yeah, because you killed more than one person. Did you? Even though I think Scream said that you had to have more body count than 2. Then yeah. Did you see if he felt pleasure attacking you? Oh, yes, definitely. You remembered how he insisted you meant you were afraid, even wanting to know the details. Oops, maybe you should have kept that to yourself. No, actually, even if you didn't, he would kill you. Cindy put a finger on your chin, thoughtfully murmuring to herself. Then he would fall into the category 2. Cindy, what's category 2? Yeah? Can I ask you something without you getting angry? Okay. How do you know so many police terms? Was she dating a police officer? Cindy froze, looking at you in surprise. Or she actually is a police officer? Then she sighed heavily. I never wanted to be a clerk in my dad's store. Yeah, nobody wants to be. Cindy gave you a reproving look at your sarcastic comment, but continued. I studied criminology for 4 years, then I entered the police academy. Wow, you didn't expect that. Cindy didn't give an impression of wanting to be anything in life, much less a cop. As long as I can remember, I wanted to be a detective. I worked hard to graduate with honors. But when I entered the academy, my dad's store was robbed. They caught the culprits, but since one of them was a lieutenant's nephew, they let them go free. The system boasted of being fair in the network, but it was too many loopholes. I dropped out of the academy and had been working for my dad ever since. Wow, who would have thought? Zane grumbled through the clenched teeth. Don't be condescending with me. No. It's just caught my attention, that's all. That explains why you're so harsh with Lieutenant Wes and Detective Sean. Cindy snored, looking away. Is it Wes's kid? Do you think they're doing a good job? Well, I don't know what they're doing now, but I had a feeling they were trying hard. Cindy lowered her gaze, dispirited. I hope the system doesn't fail you like they failed me, Ryan. I think that's Second nicest thing you ever said to me. She raised her eyebrow. What was the first? They're feeling peaceful with me. They feel peaceful with me. Yeah, well, I still think about that. The two of you fell silent for a moment until you broke it. I'm glad you're getting along, said. She smiled faintly. Me too. Well, it's time for me to go. So soon? Just came to check on you. From what I see, you're fine. But Cindy turned to you, questioning. What is it? No, you couldn't tell her about Jeff's game. No, nothing. Go home safely. Cindy looked at you for a couple of seconds in silence and left. Saying that you were on your own, you sighed heavily. You spent the rest of your day in your apartment. You felt like it was going to be a quiet night. But when night came, you changed your mind. Jeff said every time you evaded him, he would go away, so technically you should be safe tonight. But on the other hand, it was Jeff we're talking about. The guy is cowardly, cheating maniac, and he can't trust his words. So he decided to go out. I don't think that's even a good idea. Where? It doesn't matter. He just went somewhere with a large crowd where it could be impossible to attack you. No, that would be a perfect place to attack you. Have you watched a horror movie? Have you watched Scream 2? So you arrived near the street full of bars. Lights painting the streets with colors. Music gently escapes from the venues. You shrugged and picked up a bar to enter. The place was quiet and had a considerable amount of people. Perfect. Perfect for him. He didn't want to go half-empty place. It would be like a deer going to meadow. But not a crowded place either. The last thing you need is in your paranoid state. So he sat in the bar and prepared to order. Beer? Wine? Okay, just wine. You sat patiently for your order. And then you felt something in your seat next to you. You. Seriously? What? I could go wherever I want. This is a public place. And you don't think I was just scream and let you get arrested? Jeff looked at you over his shoulder, disinterested in your threat. Sure, you could do that. And by the time the cops come, I'll rip out your other eye and run away again. You're a coward. I'm many things. The bartender appeared and Jeff gestured for him to take an order. Whiskey. Neat. Oh, old school. Or just showing off. Who am I showing off to? You? Tease. You seem to try very hard to get my attention. I don't. Shut up. I'm the first person you left alive. I guess that makes me at least relevant to you. Your words seem to catch his attention. Don't flatter yourself. You're not the first. Oh? The bartender arrived with your order in his. Jeff wrapped his fingers around the glass, pulling his bandana down slightly. You could see a bit of his profile. It was strange to see him so calm. It was a beginner's mistake. The girl was nice to me, and she suffered the same as me, so I felt sorry for her. Jeff took a sip, then swirled the drink in his glass. I don't know if she's still alive, but last time I saw her, she wanted to kill me, so I don't care anymore. Wow, being compassionate, that's new. Well, I think I know this reference. And what did you two suffer from, if I may ask? He pointed to his own face with his index finger. The burns. Ah. Can I ask how that happened? In an accident, I spilled acid on myself. Show him empathy. Mock him. I'm sorry. Accidentally? Do you mean you spilled it or threw it on yourself? I bet both. Really? Really, Jeff? Wow, just wow. Jeff snored. He seemed annoyed, but you sensed the music in his voice. Oh, shut up. You're not the one to judge me. What's that supposed to mean? You figure it out. Jeff took another sip of his whiskey. Anyway, why did you come here? I thought you wanted to keep this thing between us without an audience. Relax, it won't hurt you. I'll keep my promise. For now, right? You roll your eyes and drink your own drink. You both sat in silence for a moment, listening to the bar's music and the chatter of other people. Ask him about his day. What did you do today? Jeff turned to you in surprise. I didn't do much. He turned his gaze back to the front. I went shopping. I walked the streets. I rested a little. And I came to this bar. And he listened intently, and he saw the corner of Jeff's mouth curl into a mocking smile as you realized. So it was you following me. Yeah, yes. He glanced at him, but far from being annoyed, Jeff seemed to enjoy causing that reaction in you. He took a sip of your drink, and he did the same. Every time he finished drinking, he pulled the bandana up again, covering his face. You both paused in a moment to calm the previous motion. Are you really not going to do anything to me tonight? Jeff rested his cheeks on his handboard. Why would you be afraid of me? It's not that. I just wouldn't appreciate being back to the hospital so soon after leaving. Jeff clicked his tongue. Don't worry. Just enjoy why I'm not gutting you where you are. Yeah, it's like, pulls out his face. No, I'll do it. I'll do it myself to you. Okay, that's not reassuring. Jeff sighed, turning to you. His eyes sky blue, milky like cloudy day, staring fixated on you. I promise I won't do anything. Fort. Couldn't you be this cute most of the time? It's a waste of time to act crazy all the time. He thought Jeff made a gesture of raising an eyebrow because he didn't have eyebrows, duh. And what do you mean, being a killer? And what about being a killer? Yeah, that too. Huh. Jeff returned to his spot in silence as if he hadn't expected your answer. You could see it clearly, but you couldn't swear that beneath his dark eyelids you could see a distant pink tone, different from the sores in his skin. You both felt silent again. This time you felt calmer, as if you had shaken off the previous awareness. Why are you doing this anyway? Jeff looked at you questioningly. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know if you hate me or like me. I don't know if you want to kill me or reserve me. I don't know either, clearly. I lose control when it comes to you. Jeff let out a dry chuckle. I was always good at improvising, but since I met you, I don't know what the crap I'm doing. Inquire. You were always good at killing people? What's the difference now? You're an enigma. I thought I understood all humanity, that's why I hated it. But with you, it's like I want to find out more. You caught my attention, I'm sure of that. He slowly brought his hand towards you. He didn't move. He didn't know if it was out of fear he would do something, or if he wanted him to reach you. Jeff's fingers wrapped around your neck and squeezed gently. It wasn't choking you, but his grip was firm. I'm still thinking about what to do with you once I get bored of our game. He pulled you closer, his breath gazing your face as he spoke softly. Because I'm getting bored easily. Game mode. Nah. Joe's eyes widened, letting you go, as if you were contagious. He stared at you in astonishment for a couple of seconds, then he stammered. I fell for that again. Again? I didn't do that again. He grunted under his breath and continued drinking his whiskey. Hey, so what's the plan? Huh? Are you going to chat like friends even though you ripped out my eye and are stalking me? Jeff snored a laugh and raised his glass. I'll drink to that. Toast. Whatever you say. You raise your drink and clink it against his glass in a small toast. He stared at you in silence thoughtfully. You're a very strange person, Wyan. Do you like that? Jeff chuckled softly. We'll see. Thanks for leaving me alone tonight. Your standards are very low, aren't they? Hey, I said thanks. Not that you magically became decent just because you did a good thing for me. This isn't a dark romance. Well, it totally is. Perhaps. Jeff raised his hands in surrender, his posture unconcerned. I'm in a good mood. That's all I could say. Does it have anything to do with me rejecting the date with Paul? Think what you want. You smiled faintly and drank your drink. You both fell silent, listening to the bar music. Jazz was relaxing and strangely, he didn't feel bad. It was incredible how you could go from fearing him when you're in your hiding place and in another moment it seems like the two of you are having a... Oh. Was it your idea, or did this seem like a date? Dang, this guy who ripped out your eye and threatened to kill you. Maybe it is a dark romance after all. Totally is. I want to see. Are you jealous? Where do you get your money? What happened to your Are you jealous? What's that got to do with anything? I don't help but notice that you really hate it when someone was nice to me. Are you jealous type, Jeff? Don't play fire, Wyan. With fire, Wyan. Fart. Mock him. Why? I am gonna make him love me. Because it's senseless to provoke a serial killer who has me in his sights. Maybe you weren't mentally well enough to mess with someone so dangerous, but you definitely had enough common sense to recognize how screwed up the situation was. Ah, I see you understand what I mean. Don't get too comfortable. I'll be back for you tomorrow. Alright, sure. You're stalking me. For a moment you forgot spending time with you as a normal person would be so bad. I could even call it a date. You're just talking, but I could see that your words create a reaction, Jeff. Do you think someone like me can experience normal things? Like a date? Yes. Yes, sure. He stood silently for a second, then placed the empty glass on the bar and rose from his seat. He followed his movement and turned from your stool. Good night, Wyan. Good luck tomorrow. Jeff made a gesture to approach, raising a hand towards you. He saw he wasn't pulling out a knife, so he leaned forward towards him. Take his hand. Kiss his cheek. You held his hand in yours, and you pulled him closer and rested your cheek against the side of his face covering by the bandana. See you later, Jeff. He whispered softly, closed his ear. He didn't respond. In fact, he felt a spasm in his hand. Jeff slowly retracted, hiding his eyes behind the bag's hood. You watched him disappear through the bar door, and then you realized there was something in your hand. It was a crumpled piece of paper, and when you smoothed it out, you saw it was a bill. Stained with blood. So he did have money to pay after all. Anyway, you couldn't use that bill. They'll look at you with suspicion. You decided to stay a little longer, reflecting on everything that had happened. Now he knew for sure that nothing bad would happen tonight. But he had to be careful tomorrow. The game would resume. Day 5. You woke up as usual in the safety of your room, the only difference being that you couldn't stop thinking about what happened last night. You still had the bloodstained bill Jeff gave you. He surely gave it to you knowing you couldn't spend it. He did it on purpose. It was strange. From your own experience, you knew he behaved erratically. Of course, somehow you had managed to interact with him in a dangerous moment when your life was at stake. But that didn't mean it wasn't incredible that Jeff, as unpredictable as he was, had established some sort of relationship with you. You could admit there were times when his company, when he wasn't trying to bury a knife in your gut, wasn't so unpleasant. It was as if Jeff had two sides. One was the deranged killer, and the other was an ignorant guy who never grew out of his edgy phase. Oh no. What's this Stockholm syndrome? For it to be Stockholm syndrome, I think we would have to be locked up with him. Kidnapped. We're free to do whatever we want. We're free to go date the doctor or a co-worker, for crying out loud. And their box checked on the visual novel bingo card. Well, at least it's a bingo card. Though I will say it's a little bit different if the characters so beyond our dating Sims. Because we are free to date other characters. In fact, I think the doctor is a love interest. Anyway, today you had to be more on guard. Jeff would return and he already knew the layout of your apartment, so you were at a disadvantage. Maybe you have a better chance if you went to a hotel tonight. He most likely track you down, but the chance of him attacking you would decrease greatly. Oh, he won't be stalking us, so no, it won't. It sounded like a strategy, frankly, changing your location. Suddenly your doorbell rang in the middle of your reflection. It couldn't be Jeff, right? He wasn't the kind of guy who rings doorbells. That's what he wants us to think. For psychology, and it's actually, how funny would it be if it was him? I probably should save real quick, just in case. And now I'm going to open the door. You walk to the door, still in your pajamas, peering through the people in silence. You immediately recognize Dr. Salazar's brown hair. You unlock the door and open it, letting him in. What are you doing here? Salazar filled nervously with his hands. I'm sorry, I couldn't help but worry. Huh? Some detectives contacted me. They asked about your eye. Okay. Ryan, I don't have it. Excuse me? According to the report, when you were transferred to the hospital, they recovered your eye. Why would they pick up a useless eye? Salazar cleared his throat. It's protocol. Both police and medical everything found at the scene must be kept. Okay, I understand that. But what do you mean you don't have it? That's a strange thing. Your eye is registered at the hospital, but when I went to check, it wasn't there. Jeff has it. You could guess it might have been taken. Who might have taken it? I think your attacker is obsessed with you. Have you felt like you're being followed lately? Oh, I know I'm being followed. Oh, that sweet and naive doctor has no idea. Definitely no idea. Yes, I'm being stalked. He simply shrugged. I guess so. I have reasons to think he'll come for you. Wow, this doctor was doing a lot more than just operating on you. Apparently he was offering to be your shiny armor prince. Yeah, but I want Jeff though. Maybe next time. So does that mean you're here for me? Maybe I'll do one route with him. Are you here to take care of me, Paul? Don't you think that's favoritism for one patient, Minnie? He's having a crush on us. Is it the eye? Just having one eye. He just want to protect us. Salazar's lower lip began to tremble, slightly, surprising you. Wow, calm down. It's not that big of a deal. I don't understand either. He had a sense of deja vu as someone else had told you something similar. You're incredible. Incredible. I've never had a patient like you. Ever since you woke up and we talked, you've given me cardia? Sweating. You gave me confusion. I'm just gonna say sweaty confusion. It seems like you were making him feel sick with so much medical jargon. Definitely, because I cannot pronounce medical jargon, sir. But you got an idea. Is this what they call love at first sight? Aw, you like us. No, that's probably inappropriate for a doctor to fall in love with you. Just saying. Okay, you were in a complicated situation. Not every day does a doctor come to your apartment and confess his love for you. Nope, never has happened. But he had already gone through so many usual things to be surprised. Then again, if you did have a serial killer, a doctor, I probably would say yes to going on with. Especially Paul right here. He seems very genuine. Paul, before you could answer, there was a knock on the door. What are the chances? It's me. He turned to Salazar with a twisted smile. Excuse me, I have to get that. Why in? Suddenly gripped your hand firmly, which confused you. His usual calm eyes gleamed with desperation. He didn't know what to think. The knocking on your door grew more instant. I'll call the police if I don't get an answer in one. He broke free from Salazar's grip and rushed to open the door. I'm coming, jeez. I'm in something here. In the middle of something. Sydney looked at you seriously for a moment. You opened the door. She entered with a pail of papers in her arms. This is urgent. What the crap? Sandra stopped in the middle of the living room, looking confused at Salazar, and remained leaning against the wall with his arms crossed. What's he doing here? You don't like doctors either? Oh, he came to see me. She raised an eyebrow at you. What for? He was worried about me. Salazar averted his gaze uncomfortably. Florence Nightingale syndrome? I could say yes. Salazar blushed. I just want to look that up. I think, is that the doctor? Okay, I have to look it. I do have to look that up. I think that's the doctor falling in love with the girl, someone. Yeah, I think, I'm not even gonna look it. I'm gonna just take a guess and say it is. Salazar blushed. What's that for? What's that? When a caregiver falls in love with the patient. Yep. So it is. It is. Why in? Oh, I took a guess. Salazar protested, his cheeks still flushed. Then again, if Jeff wasn't after us, I'd probably choose you. He shrugged nonchalantly. You came on your own. I thought it would be just us two. Sydney walked into the kitchen and put a pile of papers on your table, glancing sideways at Salazar. All right. What did you come for, Sid? I found out some things about the weirdo from the store. He sat down looking at the papers with curiosity. They ranged from printed news articles from websites, newspapers, pages from the highlighted paragraphs, photos of people, and reports. Where'd you get all this? Creepypasta site. I have my ways. She's found creepypastas. Cindy sat next to him, pulling at the papers. This guy, Jeff, he's involved with many murders and also arson. He's been a fugitive for at least 15 years. He doesn't have a specific victim profile. They range from street drunks to suburban families. He follows the same modus operandi. He stabs his victims in vital spots and cuts their mouths with a kitchen knife. To make him look like he has the same smile. Darn, he definitely was listening to the myth, the third myth. The worst weapon, if you ask me. You roll your eyes at his comment. Continue, please. Sydney frowned, spreading the papers to see them all together. The strange thing is that he's never been caught. The guy is very careless. He wears light clothes, easy to stain, and long hair, doesn't care about leaving DNA, doesn't wear gloves, leaves his fingerprints everywhere. They're looking for him for several regions, and he's never been arrested. He has no address or family. His past and who he used to be are not even known exactly. What strikes me is that for a simple guy, his level of convenience suppresses normal. He managed to escape fire, avoids security cameras, even knows how to climb walls. It's like has a script on his side. Yeah, a visual novel script. Creepypasta. Script? What are you talking about? I don't mean it literally. It's like the universe is on his side. That was close. We didn't need another character with narrative self-awareness. But now that Cindy mentioned it, it was true. Well, the plot needed him to be. They supposedly gave him a physical description on the news, and yet he managed to follow you during the day or to go to the bar at night. It was as if he was invisible to others. No plot twist that he's actually part of your imagination or that he's a ghost. It's like, nah, I don't think that's a... Jeff is just very elusive. He just got superpowers. All the more reason you need to be careful, Ian. He'll come back for you. He's already did, and he'll do it again. But you can't say that out loud. What are you talking about? I think he's obsessed with YN. Yeah, I got another yandere serial killer. Cindy looked at you seriously. If that's the case, you can't stay here, at least not on your own. So what's the idea? Do you plan to stay with me 24/7? Oh no, it is. It's not the most elegant situation, but I'll make sure you're okay. I can protect you. Suddenly, Cindy and Salazar looked at each other in silence. I'll stay with YN. I'm their coworker. We've known each other longer. I'm their doctor. I have a duty to look after their well-being. Yeah, I think that was when you were doing my surgery. What you're doing, coming to their house, is totally unprofessional for a doctor. She's got you there, sir. You could say you're stalking YN. How did you know where they lived? Did you see on their file? We met yesterday. It was pure coincidence. I even say it was fate. Oh yeah, he walked me home. Cindy snorted an ironic laugh. Are you going to talk about fate seriously? Guys, can you just relax for a moment? They both fall silent and looked at you. You look at them with boredom. Are you going to let me bathe? I'm still in my pajamas. Suddenly, both of them look away, their cheeks flushed. Oh, sure. I'm sorry, go ahead. You retreated back from the kitchen and went to the bathroom. You didn't expect so many visitors, nor that they would come to your rescue. It almost seemed like you had put on pheromone perfume, or something attracted so many people. In the end, they decided to stay with you during the day. The plan to go to the hotel had fallen through, as it could be said you were trapped inside your apartment. If you showed any interest in leaving, Cindy and Salazar would jump up and follow you like a baby ducks to their mother. So you couldn't afford to go to the hotel with two other people. Plus, you didn't want to owe them if they offered to pay. Being watched was becoming tiresome. Until night fell. With every minute, your nerves rose. Before the darker it got, the greater probability that Jeff would arrive. It's getting late, Cindy. You should go home soon. Me? What about you? Don't you have a job to do in the hospital? My shift starts tomorrow. Yes, well, I know wine better. If anyone should stay the night, it should be me. What's safer than a doctor? Another serial killer to fight the serial killer? And they're yonder? A police officer? I could go on. Cindy and Salazar glared at each other while you waited. I don't want both of you to have here tonight. Having you all day was enough. Then you decide. What? Either we both stay or one, but not alone. To corner you, they knew how to work as a team, didn't they? I'll choose, Paul here. I'll choose the doctor. Salazar smiled triumphantly. Seriously? Yeah, if he's stalking me, it's alright. I'll choose stalkers then. He shrugged. The chance to spend the night with a handsome doctor? You didn't want to miss it. Don't worry, I'll take good care of Ryan. You're better. Cindy gathered her things and headed for the door. He followed her to open it and say goodbye. Thanks for coming, really. I guess I needed to feel cared for. Cindy glanced at you sideways and smiled faintly. Yeah, anytime. She wrapped her arm around your shoulder and gave you a kiss on the cheek as a farewell. Cindy disappeared behind the door and you were left with Salazar. Do you want dinner? Oh, I could cook something. No, sir, you're doing too much just by staying here. Let me serve you. I'll help you then. He's not gonna let that go. You chuckle softly as insistence. It was undeniably cute. You both began to move around the kitchen. I think it would be better if we chat because of, Jeff. Chat. So are you a ornithologist or something? I'm a surgeon. How long have you been practicing? I completed my residency 4 years ago. It was tough, especially since I have ADHD. But with the help of professors, I managed. I'm glad. I'm living proof that you do an excellent job. I'm surprised he doesn't flush like that. Salazar smiled at your words, watching you take out the ingredients for cooking. What are we having for dinner? Spaghetti with bolognese. Oh, that's delicious. Good, I haven't cooked that in a while. At all. You like it? I'll say it's my favorite dish. We both sat on the table and ate. The evening felt quite intimate, almost like a date. Don't mention it. Wait, is it? Okay, don't mention it. Does it suit your taste? Yes, definitely. You cook well. Don't exaggerate, simple dish. Salazar smiled faintly at you, murmuring to himself. I could eat it every day. Oh, he's saying that he wants us to marry him. So tell me, Ryan, what do you do? Oh, it's no big deal. I'm just a tenant at a video store. Oh, like Blockbuster? Yeah, but Blockbuster doesn't exist unless it's in Bend, Oregon. Basically, but it's just a local store, not a chain. The owner is a cinema lover, and also Sin's father. Oh, I see. No nepotism? Not at all. In fact, I think my boss is frustrated that Cindy doesn't share his passion. What about you? What? Well, she shares her passion for her dad. Are you passionate about movies? Of course. It's what makes me enjoy my job a little more. Anyway, my last memory from there isn't very pleasant. And Jeff's gonna make me hate Scream, right? Which, no, never. Favorite slasher movie. I still have both eyes. I still had both eyes. Slasher shifted uncomfortably at your comment. I wish I could have saved your eye, but... Understand, don't worry. The human body is fragile. True, it's impossible for us to create an organ or a limb at will. We must protect our bodies. Well, we might be able to regrow grow it with technology. So that might not be true in 10 years. The seriousness in Salazar's voice left you silent. Of course, as the doctor, it was part of his job to look after the safety of the human body. But you could see genuine concern for life. Saying the empty plate, he made a move to get up, but Salazar stopped you with a gesture of his hand. I'll do the dishes. You threw your hands in defeat. Whatever you say. You watch him get up with the used dishes, utensils, and glasses, and go to the sink, starting to move her with water and detergent. You stay close, admiring the broadness of his back, and his moving arms. So I'm only have one bed. The plate slipped from Salazar's hand, but unfortunately they stayed in the sink. Don't worry, I could sleep on the sofa. I couldn't abuse your hospitality. Calm him down. Downplay. Wait, which one's gonna be downplay him. Calm him down. Calm him. Hey, calm down. We don't have to do anything. But I don't like the idea of leaving him alone with a loose killer. Better together than separate, right? Okay. He nods silently and retreat from the kitchen. I'll go get ready for bed. He went to the bathroom, where he showered and put on your sleep clothes. For a moment, you stopped in front of the mirror. You were a little nervous about spending the night with Salazar, but there was something else. If Jeff came... No, you shouldn't think that way. Oh, he'll come. He was a coward. He only attacked you when you're alone. Yeah, but think this way different. He's gonna be jelly. Yes, that was CERN. Technically, having someone with you avoided it. He himself had said that the game was between the two of you. So Jeff went involved Salazar. Right? Well, I think he's gonna be jelly. We just had a heart to heart on in day 4. With that in mind, you left the bathroom and went back to the kitchen to look for Salazar. The bathroom's free if you want to use it. Oh, thanks. My room's on the door across. Yeah. You nodded silently and went back to the way you came, this time heading for your room. I'll choose to sleep in the bed, and I'll just choose the sofa. You lay down on the bed, making sure to leave space for Salazar. From your spot, you heard the lights being turned off and on and the water running. A few moments later, Salazar walked slowly towards you, as if fearing to startle you. Go ahead, I don't bite. Much. In the dim light, you could see him smiling faintly in your joke, but he remained silent as he settled down under the covers next to you. He was careful, but couldn't help but brush his leg against yours. I'm sorry I didn't. It's okay. It's not that fragile, you know. I'm not that fragile, you know. He looked at you, his eyes shining in the dim light. I'm afraid that by thinking that, you won't be careful. Well, he wasn't entirely wrong. In the end, it all came back to whatever happened with Jeff. Perhaps if he hadn't attacked you, you would never have met Salazar. Why me? What's so special about me? Unexpectedly, you felt his hand brush your cheek and his thumb gently caress it. I don't know, because it's you. He chuckled softly. It's strange, I feel like I know your face, but I can't describe it in words. But even so, I like you. Your heart raced in his words, feeling the air between you two grow warm. Good night. Rest well, Wyan. You close your eyes, concentrating on your breathing and his to fall asleep. Soon you succeeded. You weren't sure if you were dreaming when you thought you heard a noise, but when you reached out to Salazar, you realized he was in bed. You got up and quietly left your room. I think Jeff's here. You heard nothing, but that didn't calm you. You immediately reached the living room when you witnessed the worst-case scenario. Yeah, there's Jeff. Jeff has Salazar pinned in, by the neck, the tip of the knife pointing at his throat. And what point did Jeff come in? Salazar get up and they confront each other. They must have made a noise, but you had no idea. It seems Jeff is very good at what he does. Why, and I said, I'll be back. Yeah, I can tell. Definitely can tell. I advise you to be careful what you say. Someone could get hurt. Jeff brought the knife closer to Salazar's neck. Seriously? What are you doing? To ask me what my favorite horror movie is? They looked for you. They're looking for you for attacking me. They're looking for you for attacking me, and now you're going to hurt another person. Think a little, Jeff. That means more cops looking for your head. I don't think he cares. So you won't mind if I do this, will you? Jeff cut Salazar's cheek, causing him to gasp as the blade slices into his skin. Wait! This is between us two, remember? There's no need to involve him. Jeff moves the knife away to Salazar's neck and instead buries it into his shoulder. Salazar lets out a scream that quickly is silenced by Jeff's hand. He watches the two struggle until Jeff pulls the knife away and Salazar falls to the ground, his wound bleeding constantly. Lion, run. Don't worry, don't bother, handsome. Jeff stretched a mocking smile. There's a new jurisdiction. Jeff ignores Salazar's body and advances towards you, his milky eyes shining in a dim light. You manage to run, maybe lock yourself in the bathroom or your room, but your wrist is held by Jeff, preventing you from moving. It's funny, I didn't want to hurt you, not like before, at least. Why would that be? I'm gonna go with he likes you. Maybe it's because you like me. What? You know, you're interested in me. You have a crush on me? Or just interested in how I act? You just said the first thing that came to mind, hoping he would stop. Oh, I see. Jeff leaned towards you, his smile stretched more than usual, his wide eyes fixed on you. I want you. You. Jeff lets out a shrill laugh. Oh, it's not like that type. You don't know whether to be smile or be horrified. That explains a lot. The grip on your hand tightens and he pulls you closer. Wait, what are you doing? I already discovered what I want. I don't want to play with you anymore. A part of you felt relieved at his words, but when Jeff pulled you towards him, caused you to crash into his chest, he felt cold. I want to have you for myself. Then you realized he was leading you to the exit. In an instant, you saw Saucer's body still motionless on the ground, and pang of worry passed through you. What about? Don't think about him. Your cheeks are cupped in two large cold hands as you feel something wet splash against your skin. By the smell, you could tell the blood. Tell it's blood. Chest bangs brush against your forehead, and all you could see are his eyes. Just focus on me. You see, is seeing what he's capable of. He didn't just hurt you, he hurt everyone. That made you consider his words deeply. Day 6. The sensation beneath your body was hard and rough. The mattress was evidently very old and of poor quality. Even though you had woken up, you kept your eyes closed, reflecting on what had happened to bring you to wherever you were. Jeff had dragged you, forcing you to run with him. The cold of dawn entered your lungs, though the street lights illuminated your path. You traveled many streets. You didn't know how far he was taking you. At your request, you occasionally asked him to stop to rest, and Jeff agreed. And while you caught your breath, he watched the surroundings. As soon as you felt better, he took your wrist and dragged you again. Finally, you arrived at a rundown neighborhood full of trash, encampments, and houses in poor condition. Jeff's house was no exception. Remember him saying it was where he was staying for the moment, as he invited you into a small rundown house. Since it was night, he didn't want to turn on the lights, assuming there was electricity. You couldn't see the interior well. But from the smell of dampness and dust, plus the crunch under your feet, you could assume the place was not in good condition. Unfortunately, Jeff offered a bed specifically for you, saying that he had things to do. Are you still pretending to sleep? Cursing your eternally at Jeff's voice. You cursed eternally at Jeff's voice. There he is. Oh, he doesn't have the hoodie on. You opened your eye and found something you didn't expect to be the first thing you see that day. Good morning, Ryan. Jeff was leaning on the edge of the bed, inches from you. He stared at you fixated, tracing every inch of your face. Morning. It was strange to see Jeff and for him not to intend on hurting you. Sure, the bar thing happened, but you were still on guard because of what he did last night. It was also curious to see him without his usual white hoodie. Seeing his bare arm and the silhouette of Jeff's waist felt like seeing a Victorian woman's ankles. Scandalous. Jeff nodded slightly in your greeting, maintaining his smile. No need for so much caution. I don't want to kill you anymore. Well, that was surprisingly reassuring. But it was Jeff. The guy was anything but trustworthy. Be positive. Suspect. I don't believe you. Jeff chuckled, touching the tip of your nose with his index finger. Let's go have some breakfast. Have breakfast. He's avoiding you, didn't he? He stood up and remained standing by the bed, looking at you spectacly. Yeah, definitely a little run down. Okay, definitely a lot run down. You slowly stood up, and you found yourself in a very large but quite ruined room. There was no furniture besides the bed, but at least the window wasn't broken. Pretty sure that's a furniture. Then you realized you were only in your sleepwear and barefooted. Did you really run through several streets without stepping on a nail or a piece of glass? Luckily you didn't get tetanus. Well, jokes on us, we got tetanus shot. I don't have shoes. Jeff looked away thoughtfully. Wait. Jeff disappeared through the door, and he heard a movement from the other side of the room. Soon Jeff reappeared with 2 slippers, each of different size. They're gonna be too big for me. That's what I found handy. They will look for clothes for you. He accepted the slippers with hesitation. They weren't torn or dirty, just a bit dusty. They were mismatched sizes. One fit you well, and the other was loose, but it didn't bother. But it was better than walking on tetanus. I'm pretty sure both would be too big for me. I'm a 5.5. Technically a 3.5 kids. Thanks. And for I think UK, it's a 3.52. And I'm pretty sure Chinese is in Japan it's 22.5. Thanks. Jeff smiled broadly at your gratitude. You don't even see a blush creep up his face. Come. Jeff took your wrist. His grip firm, but it didn't hurt. He pulled you along. But unlike other times, it was gentle and calm. He led you through the house to what would be at the dining area, with a table and 2 chairs. There's a mini fridge and a kitchen in the adjacent room, but I doubt they worked. I brought breakfast. Cup of coffee. A skim milk latte. He extended a paper cup to you, and you took it. It was warm. How did I know your preference? He smiled, turned mocking. He's been stalking us, that's why. Come on, Ryan, you're smart. Of course it was because he had been following you for days. He surely found out those things by watching you. Don't think I forgot about the edible stuff. I got you a sandwich. A grilled cheese sandwich. Nice. Okay, I'll get to the point. Are you trying to be an attentive boyfriend or something? Jeff tilted his head interrogatively. What are you talking about? You ripped out my eye, snuck into the hospital room. You broke into my house. Do you want me to forget all that? It's like, yes. Am I supposed to believe you're in love with me? If you put me through the heck? Jeff looked at you with curiosity, then headed to the mini fridge. I don't want you to forget about what I did. He mumbled softly, pulling the jar from the mini fridge. Just see it from a different perspective. He placed the jar in front of you. What is it? Inside, there was a thick, transparent liquid, yellowish. Inside, at the bottom, you saw a dark red stain mixed with black. Then he turned it. Oh, my eye. It was your eye. He felt cold. Your eye is pretty, I couldn't help but keep it. He came towards you, holding your cheeks between his hands. But now I have something better, you. He crushed your skin with his thumbs, rolling his eyes to your lips. What we have is special, and I'll make sure you see it too. He felt a shiver run for you. You came to the conclusion that you had no escape. Physically, it was almost impossible to escape Jeff, even if you tried, but the way he expressed himself, you didn't think he would hesitate to chain you to his side, or cough your legs, or so you don't want one. Yeah, he's read the yonder guidebook. You couldn't ask for help either. Jeff would kill anyone who approached you. You knew that from experience. RP, our doctor. He's insane. You're crazy. Jeff laughed straight at a staggering to laugh, lowering his hand to your shoulders. Completely. For you. Okay. I'll eat your stupid breakfast. Jeff smiled broadly, leaning towards you. For a moment you thought he was going to kiss you, so you closed your eye, but then you felt a light touch on your forehead. Jeff kissed your forehead for a few seconds, then released you and sat at the table. You followed the example and sat down. In silence, you drank the latte and ate the snack he brought you. Where did you get this? Don't you think I know about food chains? There's a coffee shop branch a few blocks from here. How about the sandwich? Did you have breakfast? Jeff blushed slightly, smiling eventually. Yeah, hours ago. I'm sorry I didn't join you, but our schedules are different. Just having dinner together. What if you join me for dinner? Oh, I'd love that. You heard him sigh softly. Wait, did you pay for this with money? Jeff tilted his head, as if raising an eyebrow he didn't have. How else would I have gone it? He just pickpockets the people he RAPs. I don't know, armed robbery? I'm not that careless. They're already looking for me for murder and arson. I'm not adding robbery to that list. Are you sure? Because out of all of them, I'm pretty sure robbery is the least evil. And where do you get the money? Well, it would be a waste not to keep the money from some of the people I kill. Yeah, I think robbery would be less evil. The way he calmly admitted to killing people was chilling. Geez, you're pathetic. It's not enough for you to kill people. You'd rob them too. Hey, at least those murders weren't attributed to me. They're outside my mother's operator. They're considered robbery. That's no reason to be proud of, Jeff. Nothing you say is a reason to be proud. You're adorable when you judge me. Oh no, he's completely fallen. Yeah, in love. But you couldn't let your guard down, nor to take advantage of it. However foolishly in love he may seem, he's still a maniac who, from what you've recently learned, was more cackling than he appeared. Have you ever been in love before? It's like, nope. I think once, if you call it that. Oh, with whom? A woman I spent 3 nights with. Gross. Not that way. It was intimate in another way. By stabbing them like a ghost face, we talked all the time. I felt she understood me. Is this the same person we were talking about? What about you? Have you ever been in love before? Yes. No. Jeff broadened his smile. So, what's your preference? Man, woman, or both? it doesn't matter to you. You didn't consider it men. I'll make sure you don't think of anyone but me. The more I know about you, the more I like you. If I don't have preference at all, I'm Ace. Can I know things about you too? Of course. How old are you? I won't tell you. Oh, come on. At least give me a range. How old are you? Less than your 20. Then 20. You're in your 20s. You're in your 30s. We're about the same age, Happy. So you're 30-something, huh? Shut up. Mock him. Flatter him. You're in good shape. Even if you're not that young, you look good. Ignoring how messed up his face was, of course. Jeff said nothing, but he noticed his cheeks flush. Do you have any family, any friends? There was a time when I lived with some guys. It wasn't a big house, there were several of us. Each had their own particular, own particularities. Oh, I know. Creepy house. Creepy pastas. They're the closest thing I could call friends. That sounds cool. Wait, that sounds weird. They sound weird. They were. The owner of the house was expressionless. Slenderman. One of them was a cannibal. I think you could call him that. Another spent his time playing video games. Been drowned. One dressed as a clown, and a couple spent their time filming. So yes, they are weird. Do you have any family? Obviously, I had it at the beginning. A mother, a father, a brother. But I lost them. I'm pretty sure your brother's still alive. How? Did you kill them? Jeff let out the spirit chuckle. You know me better than I thought. Are you happy with everything you asked? It depends. I have one more question. Why do you kill? Jeff walked away, thoughtfully. At this point, it's like asking a bird why it flies. It's why I am. But it started with something. Didn't. What happened? Jeff shrugged. I was a kid when I started. The world was meaningless, and I hated humans in general. I want to make the world a better place by disturbing all humans. And it was like that for years. That's kind of screwed up. Wow, that's screwed up. Don't even tell me. No wonder you're messed up in the head. Flattery, love. But when I met you, I started to feel things I thought I hadn't forgotten. The words wanted to escape your mouth. Would you consider stopping the killings? For me, it was late. It was late. You said it. Again, you weren't a saint, wanting to give a moral lesson to an obviously moral person, but it was a question asked out of genuine curiosity. It wasn't a request. He just wanted to know. Unfortunately, Jeff didn't seem to take it badly. Would you reach a compromise, just in case? You couldn't help but feel your heart race. Okay, you had to admit that right now he doubted Jeff was really in love with you. But it was if this man said he might consider changing just for you, it was impossible not to be moved, even a little. That's very sweet, thank you. It was better to be on his good side anyway. Who knew what would happen if you treated him badly or broke his heart? Something told you he was very vindictive. Oh, I think I see it. Suddenly there was a knock on the door. Jeff grew serious and went to the window, peering out slightly. It's a cop. Did you forget to pay rent? Jeff bit his fingertips thoughtfully. I don't pay rent. And you're squatter. I stopped joking. The knocking on the door became instantaneous. You answer it. What? I'm being looked for. They can't see me. You have to talk to him. But okay, which cop is it was? I'll trust you. Without waiting for an answer, Jeff disappeared into the house. He shifted uncomfortably, heading for the door. Everything going to be fine, Wayne. You lied to the police before. It'll be a piece of cake. He opened the door. In front of you stood a uniformed police officer. Good morning. Sorry to bother you so early. It's okay. We're monitoring the area. It's just routine. Have you witnessed any unusual activity lately? Why? I haven't seen anything. Alright. Try to be careful. This neighborhood is dangerous. You probably noticed you weren't exactly from around here. Close all the windows and doors tightly. The police officer made a gesture with his cap. You felt the annoyance again. You saw the police officer leave, and when you no longer saw him, you closed the door. He sighed heavily and turned towards the direction Jeff had gone. It's like, Jeff, he's gone. Jeff, you can come out now. You received no answer, so you took a few steps forward. From the darkness, Jeff ran towards you and embraced you tightly. Lion! He wrapped you in a tight hug, even laying it to one side to lift you a few inches off the ground. You're amazing. Oh, yeah, I try to be. You didn't know whether to take the confidence well, as you had just broken the law. It's like, yeah, technically harboring a criminal is against the law. You had a chance to turn me in, but you covered for me. Be indifferent. Yeah, I was there. I don't care if you treat me coldly. I adore you anyway. I wasn't. Wait, what? Jeff placed you on the ground and distanced himself from you, but his hands remained on you. I didn't take you for a pushover. I'll lick your feet if you want. Okay, don't be a Dan Schneider. Gross. I got idea. I get the idea. That wasn't necessary. Definitely don't be Dan Schneider. Jeff chuckled, raising his hands to your neck. He tilted his head, looking intently at the marks his fingers had left on your neck, which had faded over the days. You refrained from saying anything, feeling the air change something more intimate. Your eyes met Jeff's for an instant. His normally small pupils were slightly dilated. He leans in lower to his head to your neck. All you saw was his black hair over your forehead. Well, he felt the first kiss on your neck, sent a shiver down your spine. The second made it worse. Jeff took his time, slowly, calmly kissing your neck from one end to the other, caressing the skin of your throat with his lips softly. Jeff, behave. You clenched your lips to make no sound. Perhaps the whole situation was playing tricks on your mind, because the tepid house didn't seem like the worst place for this to happen. For sure, anywhere. For sure, he doesn't care. You felt him slowly pull away and lean over your face. His long hair messy outstretched your view, but due to the closeness, you could see his bright eyes and the cut of his mouth near you. He saw his eyes fixed on your lips, and you weren't surprised when he finally kissed you. The touch was soft, but could feel his lips were dry and cold. Even so, it wasn't that bad. His hands moved up your jaw, holding you firmly as if he wanted to prevent you from escaping. You felt the possessiveness in his touch, but it wasn't aggressive. Rather, he seemed careful. Gathering the courage, you raised your hands and wrapped them around his shoulders. Jeff groaned softly against your lips as he felt your fingers intertwined in his hair, breaking away for an instant, only to kiss you again, desperately. He worked his hands to your waist and held you firmly. Use the tongue. Is it alright? Okay, that's better. That's enough. You slowly pull away, creating distance between you and him. Okay, that's enough for today. Jeff let out a whimpering groan, not wanting to let go. What? Why? I'm not going to go any further with you in this place. There might be cockroaches, rats, or tetanus. Okay. Jeff released you from his hug, but remained close. I want to show you how grateful I am. I could thank you in their way. Jeff lit up, because I'm trying to make sure I get all the little hearts with him. Can I lick your... No. No, don't be a Jeff Snyder. I mean, Dan Snyder. Technically, be Jeff Snyder. No, get some clothes. Oh, alright. Alright. He shook her head, disapproving of his antics. Jeff went to the corner of the room and picked something up. Here, while I get you some clothes. He offered you his white hoodie. Too white. How do you keep it so clean? You always killing people. Shouldn't it be stained with blood? It turns out he also has a superhuman ability not to get stained. This story will be classified as fantasy. I have several of those. Oh. I'm not stupid. I know I can't walk around the same bloody hoodie everywhere. Some Jeff the Killers will. But why white ones? Wouldn't red or black clothes be better? So the bad guys don't see you bleed. I have a brand. A brand? Yeah. How else would people know it was me if I wear different clothes? Touché, but... Let's drop the subject. It's not going to give me a... it's gonna give me embolism. Yeah, you're adorable. You put the hoodie over your pajama clothes, and fortunately, it didn't fit you snugly. It did fit you snugly. Jeff looked thin, but his shoulders and chest were wider than they appeared. Like what you see? Yes, I do. You're staring at him for a moment. Yes. He's not your type. Yes. Sure. A guy with a burned face and cute mouth is hot. Even if you say it to make fun of him, it doesn't affect me. I like how I look. A man with confidence. No, that's hot. Jeff remained silent, but he managed to see his cheeks blush. He pulled out an identical hoodie to the one you were wearing and covered his face with the bandana and hood. We're going to the store? Better. A mall? You were kidding. You knew you couldn't go out like that. A guy who collect trash has a lot of clothes. He'll give anything for a bit of brandy. Gross. Wax, we'll wash it. I don't know, 5 times? So you're at peace. What pretentious lives... precautious lifestyle. What did you expect from the criminal? Day 7. As he promised, Jeff washed all the clothes he got from the alcoholic on the street several times. So now you have a t-shirt, your own hoodie, sweatpants, and sneakers, which, despite being your size, were mismatched. Who'd have thought that you'd get a downgrade in a horror romance plot? But at least spending time with Jeff became enjoyable. You both spent time talking, reflecting on things, learning from each other. You even fell asleep while talking. So it wasn't strange that he was the first thing you saw when you woke up. How long have you been looking at me? Since I woke up. You looked at him steadily. 5 hours. Really 5 hours? Okay, this was getting out of control. You didn't expect to attract the attention of a killer who would become your stalker overnight. In fact, it overwhelmed you. Did it really take you a week to love me? Is that so hard to believe? I don't know much about romance, but you're the first person to make me feel this. I want to be your side always. I want anyone to come near you. I can't stand the idea of anyone else hurting you. You didn't want to hurt me, Jeff? Jeff's smile tensed at your words, and the air grew heavy. That was a question that needed to be answered. The thought of being with Jeff and him wanting to hurt you, it left a bad taste in your mouth. Now that we're good, I have no reason to. Did that mean that if things were bad, he would hurt you? Jeff raised a hand to your cheek and caressed it with his fingertips, his eyes scanning every corner of your face. And what about what you did to my eye? Jeff chuckled, and he felt flustered that he wasn't taking you seriously. What would an apology do for? What would an apology be good for when the damage is already done? That had some logic, but didn't mean he didn't feel resentment. He slid his fingers under the elastic straps of the patch, gently pulling under until it unhooked it from your head. He had removed the adhesive patch and gauze, so when he removed your patch, he exposed your empty eye socket. Besides, I think you look better this way. You didn't know whether to feel complicated or manipulated, or both. Either way, his touch was soft and delicate. His fingertips caressed the area around your left eyelid. It's one of my best works. Me going, I just thought of it. I could dress up as Jason Nikita for Halloween now. His words shivered down your spine. Was this left eye? I think it was left eye. Or his right eye. You felt your mind was confused. You didn't know what was right or wrong at this point. Tell Jeff. Am I losing my mind, Jeff? Jeff smiled eventually, caressing your lower lip with his thumb. What better than going crazy to get her in? Remain silent under Jeff's fixed gaze. We're getting used to his observing you and not blinking. In fact, you wonder if he ever even had eyelids. I don't think so. Be subtle. By any chance, are you a insomniac? Jeff seemed content with your question. Did you notice? I had insomnia for years. That's why these dark circles formed. Oh, so you have eyelids? Jeff snored sarcastically. Why does everyone think I don't have eyelids? Because you don't blink? Well, for the most part, it's because I've never seen you blink. There he is. Happy? Yep, definitely, no doubt about it. No doubts now. Of course, seeing him blink made him seem more normal. Definitely. Definitely more normal. Look at you, so observant. I thought you liked giving orders more than receiving them. I have no preference. I know what I want, and I'll do anything to get it. I'm willing to receive whatever you give me. Fort. Are you talking about something else? Jeff's cheeks flushed and his gaze drooped. Take it however you want. You chuckle at his answer, and at least Jeff seemed satisfied with your reaction. He raised your hand and gently ran over his left arm, caressing the marks and scars through the fabric. What happened to you? Jeff sighed, unconcerned. In mixed occasions, some are burns from fire and acid, others are cuts from fights. So some people fought back. Fights, Jeff? I didn't take you for that kind of guy. What did you expect me to do? Let myself be stabbed? No thanks. And who would you fight with? Sunderman? Many enemies. So you're left even more people alive? I only left you and the girl I mentioned before. The others either escaped or simply seeked revenge. Wow, you're quite the bad guy. Jeff chuckled softly, his voice vibrant. Good thing he took it with humor, since technically he was everything wrong with the world. Hey, Wyan. I'm pretty sure there's some people I would rather be stuck with Jeff with than them. Yeah? Do you like me? Yes. Jeff, I don't go around kissing just at anyone. He sighed, relieved. Jeff made circles with his fingers on the sheets while pouting. Would you still like me if I were a worm? Jeff, did you get that from TikTok? Wow, it seems he's high maintenance type. Yes. Of course, I adore worms. I don't appreciate my sarcasm, I know. You never do, and still love me. Jeff straightened up from the bed and stretched his back like a satisfied groan, and stood up. I'm going to shower. One of the good things about that house was that it had water. I bet somewhat illegally. Jeff mentioned something about bypassing the meter. The fact that you had water was enough for you. Join him. I'm coming with you. He also stood up, and hands on your shoulders stopped him. But hands on your shoulders stopped you. If you come with me, it'll be heck for you. But I thought... Heck. Okay, cheese. He lets go of you, and you notice his hands trembling slightly, and his breathing was agitated. I don't think it's agitated. He's blushing. Ah, that kind of heck. You stay where you are in the room. Jeff gave you one last look before leaving. You look around, trying to find a way to stop him. You didn't have your phone with you, and the house had no Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, it had electricity. So you decided to explore the place. Well, we're in the bedroom. How about this? There was a door you didn't know where it led. Considering this was a practically abandoned house, something told you it wouldn't be nice to go in. But curiosity was stronger. You opened the door, and the creak echoed through the walls. It was dark, but luckily there was a switch nearby, so you pressed it, the place lit up. In front of you, there were stairs standing downward. Of course, the creepy basement wasn't missing. You're lucky that Jeff wasn't one of those who chained people in the soundproof basement. Right? For now. He went down quietly, leaned to the railing as she descended to the worn steps. Silence filled the place. Your footsteps echoed on the cement. The lights also came on downstairs, so you could see the place clearly. It was spacious and cold. The walls were stone and there were some exposed pipes which explained the damp smell. But there was another smell in the air. You didn't recognize it at first, and you went to a corner where there was a ruined piece of furniture. You leaned in to get a better look. Crap. You recalled in horror, witnessing a corpse. With courage, you look at it from a safe distance, because the thing was horrible to view up close. You recognized from the short hair and size that it was a man, and the face was totally unrecognizable. It was swollen and with greenish skin. It's been around for a while then. You noticed the white powder on it, and it wasn't hard to understand that was lime. If it weren't for the lime, you would have noticed the smell from the beginning. You felt bile rise in your throat, but cover your mouth instantly to prevent it. I mean, we are technically trying to date a soda killer, so, I mean, plot twist. Not really. He'd walk away from the scene to get some air. What the crap? I mean, his name is Jeff the Killer for a reason. Jeff, did he do that? Yeah, duh. It would be a deal if he had nothing to do with it, but realistically, it was most likely Jeff. Yeah, 100%. Was that the original owner of the house? Jeff had him in to getting money from his murders, so it wouldn't be strange for him to do the same with the combination. He chose a dangerous neighborhood on purpose because if the police showed up, they would be more occupied with other suspicious activities typical of the area. It was clearer hideout in plain sight. But what about Jeff killing the homeowner and putting him in the basement? It was horrible no matter how you looked at it. Jeff killed many people, among them innocent people. You never saw a hint of remorse from him, and you became his accomplice. You knew you weren't responsible for Jeff's actions, but if you didn't question them, weren't you just as horrible as him? You should feel absolute rejection towards someone like that. You should be incapable of chatting pleasantly with someone like that. But why can't you hate him? You love him. It couldn't be. Wait, you're just like him. Okay, no, you love him. It couldn't be. You really fell so low as to fall in love with Rufus Killer. You had truly lost your mind. Anyway, you couldn't stay in the basement. Jeff would surely wonder where you were if he didn't see you, and he might get upset about your discovery. You went up the stairs quickly, but carefully, given the deterioration of the steps. You reached the hallway just as Jeff came out of the bathroom. His hair was slightly red, so he was drying it with a towel. There you are. I was looking for you. Yeah. He rubbed one end of the towel against his head and shook his long hair. Are you bored of me yet? His smile was amused, excusing his sarcasm. Accessing his sarcasm. Never. I would never get bored of you, Jeff. You're not saying that because of his good qualities. That's for sure. Which are very few or non-existent. But at least Jeff seemed happy with your answer. He kept rubbing his wet hair, which didn't seem close to being dry. Is it too optimistic to think there might be a hairdryer here? Jeff looked at you with sarcasm. In this dump, obviously not. Then leave it to me. You held your hands to him, pointing to the towel. He looked at you in silence for a few seconds, questioning. But then he seemed to understand. His expression brightened. Of course. Jeff handed you a towel and hurried to sit in the living room, looking at you expectantly. He approached and stood behind him. He turned to give you his back. His hair flowed before you, shining and straight. You begin to rub the ends gently, sometimes squeezing the towel to remove excess water. Your hair is very straight. Before it was a bit wavy, but after the accident it stayed like this. That's right, you weren't clear on exactly what happened, but you had a general idea. It was also brown. Do you have photos? Jess nodded, amused. From that time, not all. Maybe on my own Tumblr account. My old Tumblr account. Oh, you're so emo. Tumblr's not emo. That was MySpace. I don't, Okay, Tumblr might have some emo in there too. He chuckled at Jeff's protest. He raised his hand and looked at you from his spot. His gaze, usually distant, looked at you with tenderness and humanity you saw from the first time in him. He continued rubbing his hair, this time on top of his head. Anyway, I look better now. Really? Yes, back then I was very plain. They compared me a lot to my brother. They said we looked a lot alike. That makes sense if you're brothers. Were you too close? No, yeah, we were. Actually, I don't even know if he's alive. I thought your family was dead. My parents are. I'm sure of that. But, well, not so much. How do you know? It's complicated. He might have survived. Understand, is this another one of your adventures? You could say that. There's so much about you that I'm having trouble keeping in track. Jeff chuckled. You don't need to know every detail about me. Better focus on enjoying me. He straightened up and turned to face you. Which part of me do you like the most? Bald spot. Eyes, body, smile. It doesn't matter what side we're saying was bald spot. Body. Be careful, Ian. You're very vain, aren't you? Jeff shrugged. He wrapped the towel around his head, gently pulling, making him lean forward towards you. You looked at him in silence and saw that it caused a reaction in him. His cheeks flushed and he briefly looked away, shyly. He really fallen for you. You can almost trust him. Ask about the body in the basement. Ask about the former owner. So you noticed. I told you, you don't have to act cautious with me. So you killed him. Is that really news to you? No. That's not... It's just that... It surprised me, that's all. Not really. Jeff looked at you in silence, thoughtful. Expression usually smiling and maniacal, was strangely calm. In fact, he was a little scarier when he was serious. Jeff, have you really thought about this situation? What are you talking about? I'm talking about this. He powered to the whole place. The broken walls, the floor covered in rubble and dust, the broken furniture, you too. Also, what happened yesterday with the police? If I stayed with you, are we going to live like this? Jeff's eyes became bloodshot. His mouth twisted into a glimpse. Before he even realized it, he trapped your cheeks between his fingers and squeezed, pulling you towards him abruptly. It hurts. There's no condition for this. No if. You're going to be with me, period. Jeff dug his nails into your skin, making hiss. He really was still the same. Should I rip your other eye out so you understand? Apologize. Look, yeah, I'll go and do this. Look, Gate. I don't mean anything by that. I just wanted to visualize our life together. Jeff released you and kept his distance. You felt yourself breathe again and your heart calmed. We're going to have to move constantly, avoid the police. I guess I could approve the places we stay. He brought a finger to his chin thoughtfully. Maybe alternate between houses and hotels. But I can't promise you luxury. Understand completely. Jeff smiled, satisfied with your answer, standing up from the sofa. What do you want to say about breakfast? Sure. About what? I got some eggs. I cooked someone already. Oh, thanks. You're going to eat with me? Jeff chuckled, putting his arm around your shoulders and leading you to the kitchen. You're completely messed up my schedule, so yes, I'll join you. He arrived in the kitchen, and he went to the mini fridge. He bent down conscientiously, his shirt lifted slightly, revealing the skin of his lower back. Unlike the rest of his pale skin, it was free of scars, so you could see. You raised your hand and pulled at the hem of his shirt, trying to put it back in place. Jeff's body tensed. He slowly straightened up. What? Jeff was empty-handed. He looked at you spectacly. Are you hungry for something else, YN? Yes? You're alarmed in the spot. I was fixing your clothes. Jeff looked at you in silence, then looked away. Is that your idea, or is he disappointed? Is it your idea, or is he disappointed? Well, I didn't expect that. Do you want me to touch you that much? Jeff shifted uncomfortably in the spot, shyly. You shook your head slightly, approaching him. Jeff leaned on the edge of the counter, watching you intently, waiting for something. You placed both hands on either side of his body, looking at him from your spot with a shy smile. Are you being shy? No, I just want to see what you give me. You smile softly. As you approach him, the distance between you was too small to maintain. He looked at you for a few seconds, then leaned towards you. Receive a kiss calmly, having expected it. Jeff's lips felt a little softer against yours, but they were still cold. His hands rose, gently held your jaw, his fingertips gazing the skin of your cheek. He felt your breathing quicken slightly, and gently bit your lower lip, deepening the kiss. Caress him. That's enough. Considering that was enough for him, you took your hands away and stepped back a couple of paces. You look at his condition. You were surprised to see he was slightly agitated. Do you have experience with this, Jeff? Not much. I see. What about you? No. You don't have any experience. Nope, but imagination helps. Jeff sighed, straightening up. He approached you and gently kissed your forehead. Let's have breakfast already. You sat at the table, waiting for him to return. In reality, you found yourself slowly getting used to Jeff's company. When he was in a good mood, he treated you well, but when he got angry, he really brought out the worst. That was a reason to worry. Jeff approached you and placed the plate with your breakfast in front of you. The table was still a bit dirty, but the plates and utensils were clean. You watched him eat in silence. You could see a bit of food poking out from the wound in his mouth. He had some food there. You caught his attention and pointed to your own mouth, signaling to him. Jeff brought a hand to his face and noticed the small mess he made. Oh, this happens. Yeah, this wasn't working out perfectly for you. Not only was Jeff untrustworthy, but he was violent, volatile, and unpredictable. If in just 7 days he fell in love with you, how did you know if in their 7 days he would hate you? ... Jeff, I have something to ask. What is it? Does it still matter if you fear me or not? I fear you or not? Before he seemed very fixated on your fearing him, but now you didn't know what he really wanted. Do you fear me? No. Yes. Okay, no. No. He laughed thunderously, startling you. You didn't know whether to worry about his reaction or not. No matter how you answer it, it doesn't change what I feel for you. It wouldn't change our situation either. What would worry me would be if you got bored of me. Would you tell me if you're starting to get bored of me? Yes. Sure. He's like shocked. You knew from experience that he preferred honesty. Just smiled satisfied. You both dropped the subject and finished your breakfast. The rest of the day was quiet. You even saw Jeff sleeping, something you had never seen before. Reality seemed to be setting in, and everything arrived. The evening arrived. Jeff had mentioned he had some cash and could buy dinner to go from a takeout a few blocks away. But suddenly police sirens were heard. They grew louder and seemed to be from several cars. Jeff? He stood up and went to the living room, peering slightly over the window. The lights peeked through the windows, and although you expected them to pass by, they stayed. The sirens went silent, and you could see by the numbers of lights that they were at least 3 police patrol cars. You heard the click of the megaphone, and someone's voice echoed. We have you surrounded. Surrender the hostage. Crap. The alcoholic son of a doesn't even know when to shut up. Of course, it was pretty obvious that the guy who collects trash and would do anything for brandy wasn't exactly trustworthy. Yeah, who would have thought? Jeff hurried to the corner of the room and pulled the white hoodie on its white hoodie. What are you going to do? Turn myself in? No way. Come. He took your hand firmly and pulled you. But we're surrounded. We can't get out. Not from the front or back, but from underneath. You understood what he was saying when he headed for the basement. You heard the entrance door being slammed. Why in? You recognized that voice, but when you reached the basement, Jeff let go of you and went to the one end of the room. Where are we going now? Jeff struggled with something on the floor. You saw him with the piece of concrete that led to a place below. Well, that's convenient. He buries through the sewers. Are we gonna find some Ninja Turtles? Ew. Lion. Okay. He bayed and climbed down the opening. Yeah, I'm gonna go just see if I can find Ninja Turtles. He fell into the sewer, the water splashing under the feet from your movements. Jeff jumped down after you, pulling your arm. Come on, they're close behind us. You both ran, hearing several people following you. In the rush, you managed to glimpse the end of the tunnel. Where do we go next? Jeff? Shut up, I'm thinking. His grip on your arm tightened or hurting you. You both emerged into a stream in the middle of the forest, and Jeff quickened his pace. Aren't we going to get lost? Jeff remained silent, breathing heavily. He seemed truly want the criminal. Who would have thought? The serial killer was a wanted criminal, after all. You had gone into a lot of trouble. You both ventured into the forest, but after encountering the lights from the flashlights, you took a detour. The same happened on the other path. You were cornered. You both had no choice but to go straight. But ahead there were only... You both reached the end of the cliff, and Jeff finally let you go. In the distance, at the forest entrance, the lights gathered and advanced towards you at high speed. Jeff? Crap. More people approached. The crowd was a shadow, but you could tell there were many. He had no way out. Well, we're gonna stay with him. Jeff? Gently you reached for his hand, intertwining your fingers with his. Jeff looked at you desperately, but upon meeting your eyes, he calmed down. Wyan, I love you. You smiled affectionately at him. The sound of people's footsteps approached, accompanied by desperate voices shouting for them to stop. He faced the cliff, feeling the sea breeze hit you, as if warning you of what's awaited. You squeezed his hand decisively. You both took a step forward, and the ground disappeared beneath your feet. The last thing you felt was the wind hitting your face, and his hands grip that never let go. You died, ending together forever. Okay, let's try. You're scared. Jeff, I'm scared. Jeff held your cheeks between his hands and looked at you, not knowing what to do. Feeling the others approach, his shoulders slumped in realization, and he smiled slightly at you. I made your fear for your life. The words were in your mouth. You heard the sound of a gunshot close to warm you. Jeff's chest turned red, and a force pushed him towards the cliff. No! You tried to reach for his hand, and surely you would have fallen too if he had reached it, but a grip on your waist prevented you. Wait, it's over. You tried to break free, feeling the tears run down your cheeks. Jeff! You call his name because just moments ago he was by your side. Sean forced you to your knees, and you completely broke down. She wrapped you in her arms, but didn't feel quite right. Shh, it's over, it's over. Her voice was moving, but didn't completely comfort you. So that's what happened. Oh, so this is the true end. From my perspective, Wyan, you achieved what many could not. You survived. So, how do I feel? Like something's wrong? You built a social affirmative. You built a relationship with Jeff. You became both a monster and your savior at the same time. It's hard to detach from someone who meant so much to you. With time, you'll be able to fill the void he left. That's part of the healing process. Remain silent, trying to find a place in your mind that accepted what the therapist was saying. Our time is up. Is someone coming for you? Yeah, Paul. He's waiting for me outside. Oh, he survived. It turns out he was taken to the hospital in time. He was the first person you saw when you recovered. Oh, I see you two are still in contact. No matter what, it says, basically says we're dating. We're dating. It didn't take you long to understand that it was much better to go out with someone who was sane. I'm glad for you. You nodded out a simple courtesy. You left the session and breathed deeply, feeling the great weight lifted from your shoulders. How was it? Good, I talked a lot. Salazar smiled warmly. His arm had healed. He walked down the street under the sunlight in the comfortable silence. He didn't know what lay ahead for you. He would never forget what happened that week. He would never forget Jeff, what he made you feel and question. But he knew for sure that was all over you. Your life had returned to normal. Normal ending. He will live in your memory. ... Jeff, come here. Jeff looked at you with doubt, but obeyed. He held his head between your hands and pulled him towards you. You gazed your lips against his ear and whispered something softly. He startled and then straightened up, looking at you bewildered. You smiled at him. Stay still. You heard the police arrive for you, and you acted quickly. You pull your hands on Jeff's chest and push him with all your might. Jeff offered no resistance, and he fell into the void. You could see his wide eyes staring at you. You looked down from the edge of the cliff and felt someone stand beside you. Out of the corner of your eye, you knew it was Sean. Sean. It's all over. So that happened. The therapist looked at the four thoughtfully. Well, definitely, the credit is yours. You managed to overcome the evil that was stalking you. Don't have to feel guilty. Okay, we said something to him. It was self-defense. It was you or him. Sure. How do you feel about it? Different. Well, I definitely feel different. I killed someone. Are you still living on your own? Yes, but I moved to another department. A apartment. So you don't live with anyone? No, it's a small apartment. Okay, from what I see, you don't feel that attached to him. That, I guess, is because you have a strong mind. Thanks. But I like to keep coming back. I would like to keep you coming back. See how you feel in your normal life. You shrugged, standing up to see that your hour's over. Okay, next month? Will it be next week? Okay. You leave the office and see yourself on the busy street. During the day, feel your shoulders relax. Your life had returned to almost normal, except that you moved and changed jobs. Many would say that's what you thought you went for was heck, but for you, it was something special. You missed Jeff, and you weren't stupid enough to admit it to the therapist. You loved him after all. His booming laugh, his long, dispaved laugh, his light hands holding your face. You missed everything. So you held on to the promise that you made that day. I'll be waiting for you. So we killed him, but we weren't waiting for him? You didn't explain that much, and yet Jeff seemed to understand. Because he's always managed to escape. So he took advantage of the convenience that he enjoyed, and knowing that he would survive. Weeks had passed since what happened, and he still hadn't appeared. He was taking his time, that's for sure. But I knew he would come back, he knew it. There he is. True ending, he's coming for you. That was an awesome ending. Take our happy ending. And that was Fear Me. If you like my content and you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing, liking the video, and commenting down below, and I'll see you guys next time.